bottom part of the strike zone by the 19-year-old Japanese pitcher, Taneichi.
Yeah, that does seem to be his bread and butter there, that slightly tailing fastball on the outside corner today, Sam.
And here we go. Fourth pitch of the at-bat is a curveball, and coming round on it is Lutz. That'll just dribble to Chris Richards. And Renaissance Man steps on the base and records the third out for the Auckland Tuatara in the top of the first inning. So we will move to the bottom of the first. Pitching for the Bandits, Tim Atherton.
Yeah, as you've probably noticed, Taneichi a bit more deliberate on the mound. I know there was a runner on base, but there's a slight difference there with Kyle Glogowski working very quickly the previous game.
So with so few hits by the Bandits hitters in the first game, what do you think are the key points, key game changes this time around for the Bandits, Jun?
Well, I mean, the Tuatara defense did have a lot to do with that, with their outfield playing a absolutely perfect game with, like we mentioned, these fences are a long way out, and with that speed in the outfield, they were able to track down all the fly balls. So, I mean, you don't want to be hitting the ball on the ground, but they do still maybe want to be flattening out their swings to maybe hit a few more line drives, so they're more likely to find the gap. But these Bandits are professional hitters, so you do expect them to make the adjustment. And with Kyle Glogowski pitching the first game, they will be used to this velocity by now in the second game of the day.
Certainly. So we see on the mound here for the Brisbane Bandits, Tim Atherton, a bit of a veteran of both the minor leagues and the ABL, has recorded an ERA of 3.57 across his dealings with the ABL, as well as a 3.68 ERA across his minor league career. So a lot of experience on the mound here for the Brisbane Bandits as we run you through the defensive lineup. So pitching is Tim Atherton. He'll be throwing to a change here for catcher. It will be Ryan Battaglia. Playing first base, David Sutherland. Second base will be Wade Dutton. Over at third base, Mitchell Ellis. Playing shortstop, TJ Bennett. In left field, Daniel Nissen. Playing center field, Andrew Campbell. Right field will be Donald Lutz with Daniel Delacelle in the DH position.
So a bit of an adjustment for the Tuatara hitters in the second game of the doubleheader. They did see a lot of left-handed pitching in that first game, especially the top part of the lineup, like for the likes of Eric Jenkins. I feel like he faced a lefty in all of his at-bats in game one. So we'll see if he can start off the same way he did in game one and get on base. He drew a 8-pitch walk to get on, so an ideal approach for a leadoff hitter.
The weather has really shown up for this second game. A bit of sun peeking through, and we do believe that all the rain has passed for the day. So if you're in the Auckland region, plenty of baseball to come here as a fastball is fired for the first strike for Atherton. Come on down to McLeod Park. We have plenty of room for you, and just in what is a fantastic facility and a great day at the ballpark still to be had. Getting ahead 0-2 is Atherton with another fastball.
Eric Jenkins will be looking to shorten up, put something in play, and use that elite speed that he possesses. He will be looking to go the other way and let the ball get deep and protect the plate here.
And swung on a miss is that fastball. That gets by Jenkins, and the first out is recorded for the Bandits. A strikeout.
Great start here by Atherton, getting ahead in the count. Blackley in the previous game struggled early on with his command and found it later on in the game, but Atherton seems right on point here, hitting that catcher's glove with all 3 pitches.
So what sort of adjustments do the Brisbane Bandits pitchers need to make in this game to achieve success against a very good hitting lineup that the Auckland Tuatara bring?
I feel like they just need to make sure they get ahead, especially first time through that lineup, establish the fastball.
That ball is hit hard into right field. Under it is Lutz. Pop up to right, caught by number 32, and there's the second out of the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Blackley in the first game, he did pitch well, but he was nibbling a bit and wasn't quite finding the edges of the plate, and the Tuatara hitters were able to capitalize. They did make good use of that speed on the bases and played a bit of small ball to keep the scoreboard ticking over. They scored a run in each of their first 3 innings in game 1.
Bit of a theme for the Tuatara. Haven't had much trouble scoring runs in the early parts of the game. They do seem to trickle off a wee bit in the later innings and sustain that pressure, so we'll see if they can change that this time around. As a strike is called on Max Brown, the right fielder for the Auckland Tuatara.
Atherton, he's thrown all pitches for a strike so far, Sam. A great start, getting ahead, finding the zone.
The ball's hit hard to the feet of the pitcher, and second baseman coming over. First baseman able to reach and grab that, and the third out is recorded. Fantastic play there by second baseman Wade Dutton, getting over to his right and showing the strength of his arm, throwing off balance to record the third out. And so we're scoreless as we go to the top of the second inning here at McLeod Park.
That's just a tremendous start by Tim Atherton there. 6 pitches for 6 strikes, I believe, Sam.
He's certainly being efficient so far, and that's something that the Auckland Tuatara will want to try to change. They want to try to extend the amount of pitches that Atherton's able to throw, especially in this 9-inning game. Getting to the Brisbane bullpen as quickly as they can will be a key to victory.
Yeah, even in a rain-shortened series where the bullpen will have a few more pitches available, you do want to rack up the pitches for the starting pitcher to knock him out the game early, especially in the last game of the series.
So if you're just joining us, you are watching the second game for today down here at McLeod Park, the Auckland Tuatara versus the Brisbane Bandits on the second weekend of ABL baseball. So far this season, the Tuatara played an away series against the Perth Heat, where they lost 4 games of baseball, but certainly showed a lot of fight and a lot of good things to come out of that series. The first game played today was a 7-inning game, and the Tuatara came away comfortably with a 4-0 victory. Pitcher Kyle Glogowski throwing 5 innings of 1-hit baseball with no walks and 5 or 6 strikeouts, John.
Yeah, 5 or 6 punch-outs, 1 hit, no walks. And there's 10 innings so far in the ABL. He's only given up 1 hit, so that's just, you can't ask for much more than that.
So coming up to the plate now for the Brisbane Bandits will be the DH Daniel De La Calle. Hitting very well so far this season with a batting average of .438.
So Tanaichi, he has shown 3 different pitches so far. He's got a curve, a split, and a good heater.
So was that the fastball we just saw there sort of running in a little bit, John, or was that a change-up, do you think?
No, that definitely looked like a 2-seamer. He does have good life down and in on that, which should get some ground balls for him.
So the second pitch delivered here, a curveball in the perfect position to the catcher, hitting the bottom of the zone. The count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's shown he isn't afraid to go to his off-speed pitches while he is behind in the count.
And that fastball just sniffing the outside part of the plate. Hitter De La Calle won't be happy about that.
There's not much you can do with a pitch like that, Sam. I feel like before you get to 2 strikes, you probably do want to be leaving that pitch.
Yeah, definitely not particularly a pitch you can drive very hard, but certainly a pitch as the curveball is fouled off. Certainly a pitch with 2 strikes that you do want to try to battle off so the umpire doesn't take the bat out of your hands.
We haven't seen him throw a split finger close to the zone yet. It does look pretty filthy, so we'll see if he does go to it. It should be a pitch that gets a lot of swings and misses.
I think that might have been the split finger there, Jun.
Yeah, I think so, Sam. It's hard to tell till we really see him go to it a bit more often. It might have been his curveball, but we'll see what he goes with here.
Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. to Delakel, the DH. And that ball is fouled off down the right field line.
Yeah, good hitting by Delakel there. You see, that was the same pitch he took for strike 2, but with 2 strikes on him, he was able to protect the zone and fight that pitch off.
Good adjustment, expanding the zone with 2 strikes there. So for the viewers at home who aren't familiar with a split finger, Jun, do you mind explaining a little bit about how that pitch is thrown and what it does?
It's a off-speed pitch that definitely looks a lot like a fastball, especially with the motion, as you don't have to be spinning the ball at all. It's just held with your fingers right on the sides of the ball. He goes to that grip, as you can see on the broadcast, to start with before he changes, and it just seems to tumble down and in with probably about 10 miles off his fastball.
1-2 the count now. And a breaking pitch thrown there. Great at bat here so far by Delakel, fouling off some good pitches by Taneichi, keeping himself alive.
Yeah, really good battle here. Taneichi is executing his pitches, hitting that outside corner with his fastball and throwing his off-speed pitches down in the zone, but Delakel's doing a really good job staying in this at-bat.
After a couple of off-speed pitches, expect Taneichi possibly to go back to that heater and try to throw it past Delakel here. And there it is, fouled off down the right field line.
Yeah, Taneichi's really found that outside corner with that 2-seam fastball. He seems to be very comfortable going to that spot. And like you mentioned before, that's a very tough pitch to do real damage with.
So about 8 pitches thrown in this at-bat so far. Even if Delakel, the at-bat doesn't go his way, certainly he'll be happy with the amount of pitches he's eaten up for the Tuatara starter. As that ball is fired into the dirt. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's really making him work here, which will be an advantage to the Bandits lineup in the later innings, because Taneichi really does look like a top-level starter in this ABL competition.
That split finger pitch that we have been talking about a wee bit, certainly more common amongst Japanese pitchers, would you say, Jun?
Oh, most definitely. I'm not too sure what the reason is for that. It does take a lot of practice to get a good feel for that pitch.
That fastball, that ball's hit hard out to right field. Fly ball caught by Max Brown. Records the first out of the second inning. So the battle goes the way of the pitcher, Taneichi, but nothing to be scored against the Tuatara starter. So up now will be the second baseman, Wade Dutton, for the Bandits.
Yeah, Max Brown showing off the athleticism of this outfield once again. Just the first game due to his running style. Perhaps maybe more like a baby gazelle. Bambi Max.
Yeah, exactly. Newborn giraffe, that kind of thing. I think the folks at home are getting a pretty good image there as another fastball is fired. Really has found that outside part of the plate, has Taneichi so far.
Yeah, he didn't quite get this. You want to miss maybe a ball low.
Just looking at the outfield positioning here for the Tuatara, playing a little bit more shallow as that second baseman, Wade Dutton.
I think that second pitch out there.
Okay.
Excuse the graphic, but yeah, he does really seem to have a live arm and is able to get his fastball by these Bandits hitters.
At the plate now is the lefty, Daniel. That fastball on the bottom part of the zone for strike number 1.
Taneichi does seem to have a very classic Japanese pitching motion. He does pause at the top of his leg kick there, has a little hitch, and drops and drives a bit more than you would see maybe out of a Major League Western pitcher.
Swinging over that pitch for the second strike. Brings the count to 0-2 now. Looking for a clean second inning. Here is Taneichi. And another breaking pitch gets the outside part of the plate. And that gets Nilsson looking. And we move now to the bottom of the second inning. 2 strikeouts recorded there by the Tuatara pitcher, Atsuki Taneichi, showing wide ranges of his stuff so far.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how deep into the game the Tuatara coaching staff let him go. He did just arrive in the country, so it will be interesting to see if they let him go into maybe the 100 pitch count limit, but excellent start so far. It does look like he will be racking up the strikeouts this afternoon at McLeod Park.
So the weather really has come out to play in this second game here. So if you're around the Auckland area, plenty of baseball to go. Come on down to McLeod Park and watch the final game of this home series for the Tuatara against the Brisbane Bandits.
Yeah, great opportunity to see high-level baseball just down at your local field. Think we've seen the worst of the weather so far today, so no more issues with that.
And of course, next weekend, the Tuatara are playing yet another home series against the Canberra team. So visit the Tuatara Facebook page or go to theabl.com.au to find the details and come on down for the second home series for the Tuatara.
Everyone involved's just done such a fantastic job. I could not imagine McLeod Park looking this good, Sam.
Yeah, certainly it has gone through quite the transformation in the past few weeks and is possibly one of the better grounds for the season of the ABL.
Yeah, definitely, especially in terms of the playing surface. Kevin Napier has done a fantastic job. Despite even this weather, the field looks in pristine condition. So great job by Kevin, all the volunteers. Top stuff.
Batting now for the Tuatara is first baseman and Renaissance man Chris Richards, number 14. Chris, of course, former minor league baseball player, has plenty of experience under his belt, is the development officer for Wellington Baseball, so plenty of young players down there very lucky to have his input. So a fastball fired just out of the zone there by Atherton. Yeah,
he'll be looking to continue on to his great start he made in that first inning. He threw six pitches, all for strikes, and went 3 up, 3 down.
Breaking pitch, missing low to Richards, and the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes.
It'll be interesting to see how Richards holds up in the second game of a doubleheader. He has been feeling pretty tender.
And he's right on that fastball on the outside part of the plate. Great pitch there by Atherton. Not much Richards could do with that one, but his timing, he looked pretty on that fastball.
Yeah, he was right on that for that 2-0 pitch. He took a healthy cut, but well-located fastball down in the zone got Atherton out of trouble. Count has evened up to 2-1. Oh, and that's just a great spot. A great pitcher's pitch right on that outside corner again. Both these pitchers have established that part of the zone today.
And you'll just see the more strikes pitchers throw on the outside part of the plate, it's the tendency of the umpires to give them more and more room on the outside. To no fault of the umpire, as a changeup gets in for strike number 3, striking out Chris Richards.
That's absolutely right, Sam. Once you get that umpire's right arm moving, he doesn't want to put it in the holster sometimes.
Batting now for the Tuatara is left fielder Zach Clark, the man with the locks, the luscious locks.
Yes, the second part of the Chill brothers in the outfield, along with Max Brown. Sunshine, as they've been calling him. Or did I just give him that name?
Well, if that wasn't his nickname before, I think it might be now, at least to our stream viewers. So let's see if he can shoot any razor light into the outfield here as he hits a ground ball to the shortstop, who flips it across to make the second out of the inning. That was shortstop TJ Bennett. A routine play there. But as they say about great infielders, you have to make the routine plays routinely.
Yeah, a lot of players have made a living on being sure-handed on the routine play, even at the major league level. And TJ Bennett definitely had a good game on defense in the first game of the doubleheader, and he's continuing that into the second part of the day today.
So Zhu now, otherwise known as Ichi, at the plate. Ichi continuing his hot streak for the Tuatara with 2 knocks in the first game today. See if he can continue that run with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, he had a nice hit in his first at bat, sticking with his opposite field approach that he has been demonstrating throughout the early part of the season.
No balls and 1 strike. As breaking pitch missing down there to Ichi. Count moves to 1-1.
He has shown a good eye and great plate discipline for a young batter, well beyond his years, so that will serve him well. And of course, that approach of waiting for the ball to get deep in the zone is going to help him identify which pitches to swing at.
And he holds back on that pitch. The umpires are going to check. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 2 balls and 1 strike. They said yes, indeed, he did not swing at that pitch.
Yeah, just a little low there, but Atherton, he's really established that lower part of the zone with that 2-seamer. Little bit off the plate there, but that is the lefty strike that often gets called. Just that 1 ball off the plate at the knees. Great spot by Tim Atherton there. And the count has evened up to 2-2.
And that ball just getting by catcher Ryan Badaglia. And the count moves full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Tuatara hitters working the count a little bit more in this at-bat. Zach Clark grounded out on the first pitch, but Ichi is really working the zone again.
As he hits that ball hard into left field. Going back now is the Bandits player in left field. That'll just get over his head to the wall. Ichi will round to second base, and he's in easily for a double. And he just continues to rake here at home for the Tuatara. He started off hot in Perth, and he just continues. He's flaming right now. What do you think about that, Jun?
Oh, absolutely sizzling, Sam. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that opposite field approach as a left-handed hitter is just something, it's just beautiful to watch.
And he puts himself in scoring position now as Kyu Chun Wei comes up for the Tuatara, looking to get a 2-out RBI.
He did drive in a run the first game. He had a pretty solid day at the plate. He hit that one to right field, so we'll see if he can continue and get the first run of the game across the plate.
So Wei, a key part of the 7-11 Lions who play in the CPBL, the Chinese Baseball Professional League.
Just a little inside spaghetti move there just to check the runner. Ichi did catch them off guard in the first game and did nab a base, and he did actually score from second.
So fresh count here to Wei as Atherton delivers the pitch. A breaking ball. Beautiful pitch, just getting the outside part of the plate low in the zone. Pretty hard pitch to do much with there.
Yeah, very experienced pitcher by the looks of it here, Sam. He can throw all his pitches for strikes and is living down in the zone and being aggressive.
And that ground ball hit to the shortstop, TJ Bennett, who will flick it across for the 3rd out.
Yeah, great pitching by Atherton there. The Tuatara hitters are going to look to probably be a bit more aggressive second time through, as he is just filling up the zone here.
Okay, so we are going to move to the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, very clean baseball played all day today, Sam. The innings are just ticking by very quickly. Not many errors, pitches are throwing strikes, and the defense is just making plays.
Yeah, certainly fantastic defense on both sides of the diamond here. And the pitchers are doing a fantastic job of filling up that zone.
Tanaichi is going to look to continue his dominant start. He has been generating a lot of swings and misses, which is a good way to be consistent.
Taneichi so far has thrown 2 innings and has racked up a couple of strikeouts in that last inning in the top of the second. The Auckland Tuatara team, from what we hear so far, has really gelled in their very short time together, even with guys coming and going. A few recent additions to the team in Taneichi and Hirasawa today, the 2 Japanese imports for the Tuatara. And watching these guys around the dugout and around the changing rooms, they're just having a good time.
It is really important in a sport like baseball, Sam, to have a good team chemistry. You just are around each other all day long, playing 4 games a day, practicing the other days. It's not maybe like another sport like rugby where you might only have to see each other 3 or 4 times a week. You're basically living in each other's pockets all the time, and especially with this Tuatara team only having 3 home series, they are going to be on the road a lot, so it is important that all the personalities do mesh well for the long season.
Oh, exactly, and a key part of that is all of their senior players, guys like Max Brown, Daniel Lamb Hunt, who have been around for a wee while, as that breaking pitch just misses up and in. 1 ball and no strikes here to the Bandits hitter, Ryan Battaglia. Pardon me, I keep butchering that name. I'll get it right.
Battaglia? But I think, maybe?
Battaglia, we'll go with that.
Alrighty. Yeah, and by all accounts, the coaching staff that the Tuatara have assembled are very easygoing and well-natured people, so that probably helps with building that good vibe amongst the team.
Fastball missing low there as we see Taneichi drop behind, 3 balls and no strikes.
Taneichi really needs to be aggressive here. His stuff will play very well at the ABL level, so if he stays aggressive in the zone, I think he's going to be very successful. Great run on that 2-seamer. That way he will be able to live in the zone, even if he is catching the heart of the plate. That little bit of movement is going to generate weak contact from these Bandits hitters.
Hard foul ball hit there, down the third base line. So nice battle back here by Taneichi as the count moves full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's always the advantage of being able to throw a mid-90s hitter, is you can just fire it over the heart of the plate to get battle back into the count.
And that ball's hit hard to the shortstop, Hirasawa, who fires it across to Renaissance man Chris Richards.
Hirasawa playing good defense. I heard he has been playing outfield predominantly in his early part of his career in Japan, so he seems to be fine on the ground ball. Very steady-handed, Sam.
And certainly a hard outfield to crack here for the Tuatara, with some fantastic legs as well as bats already clogging up a lot of the spots in the outfield.
Yeah, as well as to go along with Bambi in the outfield, we've got Eric Jenkins and Zach Clark Sunshine, who all have elite wheels out there.
Nice fastball there, bottom part of the zone. Gets ahead of the Australian hitter, Mitchell Ellis, third baseman. Big 12-6 breaking ball there from Taneichi.
He seems to be mixing his pitches well now, Sam. He did fall behind for the first hitter, but he has got ahead. We'll look to see if he maybe goes to that devastating split he's got.
That ball is hit hard into left field, but under it is Zach Clark, line straight to the left fielder, and the second out is recorded.
Once again, the outfield, Sam. We keep repeating ourselves, but they have just done a fantastic job.
Yeah, fantastic positioning there. And you'll have partly some of the coaches to thank for the scouting report on the Australian hitters there and the positioning of the outfielders. So up to bat now for the Bandits is leadoff man Andrew Campbell, who fouls off a breaking pitch.
Yeah, second time through the lineup, mixing in his pitches with that 12-6 curveball, a little get me over to get strike 1.
You can probably see here on your screen that everything's gotten a wee bit brighter as the sun is certainly breaking through in this, what is now a pretty beautiful Auckland afternoon. Breaking pitch into foul territory down the left field line. Coming over is Lamb Hunt, but that'll go into the bleachers for the second strike of the at-bat.
Good hustle shown by both Lamb Hunt and Hirasawa. They're not giving up on that ball, but that did just drift into the stands.
The wind today has changed a little bit since the first game. It was sort of blowing out to right field in the first one, but now it's somewhat coming across the outfield into left field. So expect anything that's hit in the air to left field to have a little bit more carry on it. The hard ball hit into foul territory.
Little ugly finder there.
Just in front of the cameraman down the left field line. Luckily he had that sign to protect him. I'm not sure he'd appreciate your assessment of the ugly finder there, Jun, but nevertheless we move to the third pitch. Count is 0-2. And he swings through a hanging curveball, change of speeds, got him there. And another strikeout here for Taneichi as he continues his good work. Fell behind the first hitter, was able to battle back, and a couple quick outs now moving to the bottom of the third.
Yeah, both these starting pitchers are rolling here, Sam. Of course, Taneichi has got a strikeout per inning. That is roughly the number you are looking for to be successful, to K1 per inning, and probably walk about 2 or less per 9 is a good ratio, and a great start in his first appearance for the Tuatara.
So leading off for the Auckland Tuatara here will be the shortstop, Taiga Hirasawa, and following him up will be local Luke Hansen. Both of Hirasawa looking for his first hit of his Tuatara career, and Hansen looking to solidify his spot in the lineup. Hasn't had quite the success with the bat yet, but has certainly shown a good approach at the plate.
Yeah, Hansen was absolutely on fire in the preseason series against the Bandits, played himself onto the roster. He's swung a pretty hot bat, hit a few balls hard straight at guys, so we'll see if he has a little bit more luck this afternoon. And it's great to see both these pitchers being so successful with two slightly different approaches. Taneichi with that excellent stuff, blowing it by guys, beating bats with swings and misses. Tim Atherton, on the other hand, probably not throwing quite as hard, but able to live low in the zone with all three of his pitches and getting ahead and getting lots of ground balls here. So, you know, two different styles, but that just goes to show all the kids you can get it done with a low 90s fastball as long as you are able to hit your spots and not give guys free passes.
So Atherton, the righty, will continue for the Brisbane Bandits. ABL veteran, as well with some minor league experience. Trying to keep the Tuatara scoreless. Having kept the Tuatara scoreless through this bottom, through 2 innings so far, something that the Bandits haven't been able to do in the series so far, so he'll look to keep that up.
Yeah, and he hasn't had to work too hard so far, so he will be looking to get deep in the game here, I reckon.
Fastball misses high in the zone.
Yeah, one of the first times he's missed up with his fastball. He's just been very consistent with that. He'll look to go straight back to living low in the zone here.
Hirasawa, the lefty shortstop for the Tuatara, looking for his first hit as he takes another high fastball in the zone.
I don't think Hirasawa is going to be the most powerful bat, so I don't think Atherton will be too afraid to go back to his fastball here behind in the count.
Certainly got some wheels on him, so anything in the infield still live, as Atherton just missing with his fastball again up in the zone, which hasn't been very characteristic of what we've seen so far from the big righty.
Yeah, it just takes a little breather, just needs to settle down again and find that fastball at the knees, which he has been doing all day, Sam.
Yeah, certainly a veteran, so don't expect this to keep up as he comes right back with that fastball. As you say, John, not afraid to go after the lefty for the Tuatara here with a pretty good pitch with 3 balls on the hitter.
Yeah, he also features good run on his fastball down and in, or down and away from the lefty.
Swinging through that fastball is Hirasawa as Atherton is fought right back. The count now 3-2.
He hasn't thrown him an off-speed pitch here, Sam, but I think he's just going to stick with his fastball with no one on base here.
How important is movement on that fastball, and as he sticks with that fastball for the third strike of the at-bat, striking out Hirasawa. How important is having a live, moving fastball?
It's very important, especially when you're not throwing absolute flames. He does have a good live fastball, but he's not going to probably consistently block past people. But like we saw, when you do fall behind in the count, it just gives you that bit of leeway that you don't have to nibble when you can get that down and in movement. Helps you get those ground balls.
So at the plate now for the Tuatara is Luke Hansen, the second baseman. And he hits that ball foul.
Luke Hansen, a.k.a. the Machine, he has been playing his baseball in Adelaide and getting his reps there. He has been there for a few years now, but he is a local-born product, but he has been performing pretty well in a very strong club scene in Adelaide.
Yeah, this guy's an absolute grinder. Just loves the game as he hits that ball, little dribbler down, but going foul down the third base line. Luke Hansen absolutely loves the game of baseball. Absolute grinder. Probably takes more reps than many of the guys we see. And that's what he owes a lot of his success to, just persistence and a love for the game.
And just a player that coaches love to have on the team. A great team guy, great work ethic, level-headed.
0-2 the count. The fastball. Good take there by Hansen. Very tempting to expand the zone and swing at those high fastballs. A pretty well-executed pitch there by Atherton. Lots of hitters would have gone after that one, and pretty hard to catch up.
He does have a pretty powerful swing for a smaller man, so we'll see if he can drive one here.
And he hangs back well on that curveball and fires it foul, just missing the heads of some of the Tuatara coaches in the first base dugout.
We won't refer to that one as an ugly finder this time. As Steve Mintz, he's a beautiful-looking human.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous is Mincy, both in appearance and personality. Doing a great job of leading this Tuatara squad to their first 2 victories this week. And as that ball is hit high into right center, going back is the outfielder Lutz, and that'll get over the head of center fielder. And coming around is Hansen. He's running hard to third base. He's going to third base. That ball will be transferred and not in time. Hansen, a triple there for the local hero, and the crowd is absolutely loving it. Great piece of hitting there. Just took that ball where it was pitched, and it went right over the center fielder's head, Campbell.
That went to the deepest part of the ballpark. That's got to be about 420 feet out there, and he absolutely crushed that ball. That's when he looks best, when the Machine is driving the ball to right center. That is his happy alley. And good wheels. He's got solid speed and hustled with a head-first slide into third.
So now this one of the stars for the Tuatara, the leadoff man, Eric Jenkins, with 1 out, looking to drive in Luke Hansen. That difference between a double and a triple there, very important. It just means there are so many more ways to score Hansen now from third base that wouldn't have been available before. That ball's hit hard to the first baseman. It was hit hard enough that Hansen wasn't able to advance. So we go now 2 outs in the bottom of the third, runner at third base.
We'll see if Lamb Hunt can come up clutch once again for the Tuatara. Good read by Hansen there. Obviously, you don't want to go on the ground straight away with that ball getting hit sharply to one of the corners.
Yeah, pretty good read there by Hansen there, along with third base coach Darren Braggs for the Tuatara.
Darren Braggs, he is the hitting coach for the Tuatara, and he has coached he's part of the Cincinnati Reds organization, I believe.
So hitting now, of course, the third baseman, number 15, Daniel Lamb Hunt for the Tuatara. And a breaking pitch, and that ball's driven up the middle. That'll drive in Luke Hansen, and a single to center field as Lamb Hunt stays hot on his game today. That'll be the first run of the game for the Tuatara. And some great 2-out hitting there. Just hit the ball right back where it came from, waited back on that breaking pitch, and drove it up the middle.
That's just clutch hitting, and it really makes the team feel good when, as Eric Jenkins, he didn't quite manage to get the job done with 1 out at third, and Daniel Lamhunt just picks him right up in the next at-bat.
Yeah, some great team baseball there. That'll really make everyone on the bench happy. So, Drunk Chicken, a.k.a. Baby Giraffe, a.k.a.
Bambi,
up to bat now. Fast. Ball up high, and trying to steal was Daniel Lamhunt, and he was caught well short of the base. And the third out recorded for the Tuatara there. The Tuatara just continuing the aggressive baseball, trying to get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs once again, just caught out that particular time.
Yeah, that is definitely the philosophy of this coaching staff, to be aggressive on the bases. So I don't think getting thrown out is going to hold them back in future opportunities. They're just going to stick with the run and gun approach and really use the athleticism of this team.
Alrighty, folks, so we are going to move to the top of the first inning now. We have joining us in the booth here, young superstar for the Auckland Tuatara and starting pitcher of the first game, Kyle Glagoski. Kyle, welcome to the booth.
Thank you, mate. Thanks for having me.
So, Kyle, what a magnificent start in that first game. You threw 5 innings, only gave up 1 hit, just really building on that first game as well. How were you feeling up there?
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good. The mound was a bit slippery at first, but I got used to it after a while and made the adjustment, and I was able to go out there and keep throwing strikes and, yeah, keep putting up zeros.
Well, we certainly couldn't tell that it was slippery up there or any sort of ounce of suspicion that you looked uncomfortable. You just look like a guy who's been up there for years.
Yeah, no, it was it was definitely good pitching on that mound. You know, just learning different things, how to cope with different scenarios and stuff. So it was good.
How have you found being around this group of guys on the Tuatara squad?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. It's so good to just come home and be able to pitch on home soil, and especially because it's the first ever professional game in New Zealand, or first professional series ever for a baseball game. You know, it's so good to just come out here and especially pitch well in front of my home country. So I was stoked to be able to do it.
Yeah, excellent. And we were certainly stoked to see you be able to do it and continue to succeed. Can you talk to us a little bit about your various pitches? How are you feeling with your fastball, with your breaking pitches? How was everything working today?
Yeah, everything was working real good today. I mean, my out pitch because their lineup's mainly lefty batters, so you know my out pitch is my changeup, and it's the perfect, call it the old bread and butter for the old lefty. So no, it was good to go out there and have that one in my arsenal, and then I had the slider to get the righties out on as well. So you know, it was a really good day for me today.
Excellent, as Tanaichi fires a second breaking pitch of the at-bat to get ahead 0-2 on TJ Bennett for the Brisbane Bandits. So what are your thoughts so far on Tanaichi? Obviously, he's just come into the country today. What are you seeing so far, Kyle, as a fellow pitcher? As he strikes out TJ Bennett on a third curveball in a row.
Yeah, he's got some filthy stuff, I'll tell you that. I was after I was done, I went and watched his bullpen and watched him warm up, and man, he had some filthy stuff. You know, he was locating, keeping the fastball down at the knees every pitch that he threw, and you know, as you can see here, he's just coming out right now and dominating, and he's straight off a plane, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And
a very young guy too, only 19 years old, is Tanaichi, as he fires another breaking ball. This one misses up in the zone to first baseman Sutherland. So what do you think the keys to success are for Tanaichi today as he goes through the Bandits lineup for the second time?
I mean, if he can stay where he is right now, if he can stay at the knees and use that split finger he's got for an out pitch, I think he's going to have a very good day. And, I mean, like you said, he's like 19 years old as well, you know, same age as me. So, you know, I look to work with him, learn a few stuff, learn a few moves off him, and maybe help him out with a few things as well. But, I mean, he looks like a very polished pitcher for his age.
Excellent. And that fastball is snapped foul down the left field line. So just enlighten us, it's a little bit hard to see from the broadcast. Is that secondary pitch Tanaichi's throwing, is that majority the split finger, or does he also have a breaking pitch he's working in?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's definitely got the split finger. He kind of gets a split finger grip in his hand before he puts in his glove before every pitch, just in case he needs to throw it. But it looks like he's got a nasty like cutter or slider or something else. You know, it looks like he's got pitches that can move both ways, left to right or right to left or up and down, you know. So he's got a really good arsenal, you know. You never know which way the ball's going to come out, you know.
Certainly very impressive so far, shooting the knees of this Brisbane squad as he fires a ball in the dirt. The count moves to 2-2. The last thing just like to quickly talk to you about here, Kyle, is we've just been looking a little bit at all of the moustaches on the various teams. It is, of course, Movember, and the comments were thrown around that yours could possibly be the worst of the bunch. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
As that ball is hit hard into right centre field, Jenkins is going back. He looks at the wall. He's got a little bit of room, and that'll get over his head. And going round to second base is Sutherland, and he's comfortably in there for a double. So 1 out here with a runner on second base for the Brisbane Bandits. So Carl, when's that thing coming off?
Yeah, I tell you what, they wouldn't be wrong in saying that we'll probably do have the worst moustache on the team. I'm just counting down the days to December 1st, to be honest with you. I can't wait to get it off. And but with the way I've been pitching, to be honest, I'm not sure. It's a bit of a omen, really. You might have to keep it. But
yeah, unfortunately for everyone who has to look at you, you may have to keep it as well. So the quality of your moustache may be poor, but the quality of your pitching is superb. Thank you very much for joining us in the booth, Carl.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. So the right fielder here for the Brisbane Bandits, Lutz at the plate.
Great to hear from Kyle there. He had a fantastic outing, and as you all heard, very mature, well-spoken for his age. Much more mature than his moustache would indicate.
So opportunity here for the Brisbane Bandits. Runner on second base with 1 out. They'll be looking to get on Tanaichi here, as that ball was absolutely crushed by Sutherland over the head of Jenkins. And that ball would have been out at any other ballpark in the ABL, but the big fences here at McLeod Park working in the favour of the Tuatara.
Yeah, a bit of a shift in the wind, like you mentioned earlier. Carried that ball a little bit further than it would have in game 1 of the doubleheader.
And that ball is another ball hit hard to Jenkins in centre field, and it lines straight to him for the second out. So a couple of hard hit balls here as the Brisbane Bandits look like they're timing pretty well onto starting pitcher Tanaichi, but this time it goes in the starting pitcher's favour as there are now 2 outs with a runner on second base.
Yeah, they look to be being a little more aggressive early in the count, as Tanaichi's stuff is absolutely nasty, so they don't want to be falling behind and be at mercy to that split finger. So they are jumping on it a bit more early, second time through the lineup.
Tanaichi comes set here to face Delacal, the DH, as he tries to stop a swing there, but fouls off the pitch over the first base dugout.
Yeah, that was a great hit by Sutherland there. He has been the hottest hitter for the Bandits today with his second extra base hit.
No balls and 2 strikes. Tanaichi delivers, and that fastball just gets away from him, going behind the catcher, and Sutherland will advance to third base.
Wei has been pretty solid behind the dish so far. That's his first slight blemish on the day, and he'll have to work a lot harder with a runner on third for that to stop that wild pitch or pass ball.
Yeah, Wei, a good enough catcher that Tanaichi will have confidence still throwing that split finger, which does have a tendency to possibly get in the dirt. With a runner on third base, some pitchers might possibly be a little bit apprehensive to throw that breaking pitch, but with Wei behind the plate, I don't think that will be the case. And a fastball fouled off there as the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he'll be looking to live low again and work that split finger out of that same slot as that fastball at the knees. And as Kyle mentioned, he does start with that split finger grip. The reason for that is obviously getting to that grip can be quite difficult, and you don't want to tip off the hitters moving your fingers to that splitter.
High fastball hits his spot and strikes out Delacal. perfectly executed there by Tanaichi as he works out of trouble with that one-out double. Absolutely smothered by Sutherland, but was able to get a couple of quick outs and keeps the Brisbane Bandits scoreless through 4 innings.
Yeah, a little unlucky for the Bandits there. Lutz also did that, hit that ball very hard, but hit it straight to Eric Jenkins. They seem to be timing Tanaichi just a little better, but that is natural as you work your way through the lineup for a second and third time.
Yeah, they've certainly looked a lot more on Tanaichi than they did in the first game against Glugoski, but Tanaichi able to work through the lineup for the second time in that 4th inning. So we move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Coming up for the Auckland Tuatara will be the right fielder Max Brown, as Daniel Lamhunt was thrown out on the bases.
Yeah, great arm by Battaglia back there. He looks to have an absolute cannon. So the aggressive running game is still on for the Tuatara, but they'll just have to keep a little bit more of an eye out with this good battery. Atherton also works very quickly to the plate, so it will be tough to run on today.
Wherever you are around the world, we once again welcome you to the 3rd game of the home series. As you see in the bottom of your screen there, the mouth Johnny having a bit of fun with his dugout. So wherever you are around the world, welcome to the 3rd game of the home series of the Auckland Tuatara versus Brisbane Bandits. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments of the YouTube live stream. We'd love to hear from you. Get some discussion going there. Cheering for your team, whoever that may be. And great to see so much support online here. And a fair amount of support at the grounds as well. There's a fair amount of baseball to play, so if you're around in your local, come on down to McLeod Park. Still a lot of baseball to play.
Of course, the second game of the doubleheader is a 9-inning game today, Sam, so a bit more work left to do for both sides before the Bandits head back across the Tasman.
So at the plate here, Bambi.
Bambi on ice. We'll see if he can get those fresh legs moving.
Swinging through that fastball. Good pitch there. Well executed by Atherton on the lower outside part of the plate.
Despite being a 3L hitter, he does possess great speed, and he did show bunt quite a few times in that first game on Friday, and the third baseman is playing quite far back.
The ball's hit hard into left field, and going back is the left fielder, Nilsson. He's not able to get it in time. That ball is over the fence, and wow, that just zoomed just over the fence. A line shot is a home run for Max Brown, just showing off his power there. That surprised everyone in the field, with the wind just took it right over the fence. And the second run is on the board for the Auckland Tuatara as Bambi gets it done, Jun.
Why square around to bunt when you can just put it out of the park? Made me look like a fool. But Bambi on ice gets it done.
Bambi on ice. That would be a musical I would definitely go and watch, as up to the plate now comes Renaissance man Chris Richards, swinging through that breaking pitch.
He's taking some healthy cuts here. He does look right on it. He hasn't registered a hit today, but he has been hitting well, so let's see if he can get on the board.
Swinging through another breaking pitch out in front of that one. Atherton doing a good job to change his speeds against Chris Richards as he quickly goes ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Another healthy cut there by Richards. He looked like he wanted to get that one back.
He does well on that breaking pitch to foul it off, keeping the count 0-2, keeping alive.
Yeah, very experienced hitter. He took his swings on the first 2 pitches. Now looking to be a good team player and battle in this at bat.
I'd look to see Atherton change speeds once again here. Watch out for a fastball high in the zone, possibly.
Looks like he's gone with a breaking ball.
And a good choice at that. Richards swinging through a breaking ball. Absolutely filthy there by Atherton. Swing and a miss records the first out of the inning, bringing up Sunshine himself. And he's brought the sunshine with him now, Jun, as the clouds are parting on this third game.
It is a great day for baseball now. Who would have expected it waking up with the grey clouds this morning? Atherton, a professional pitcher up there. Gives up the home run, but goes straight after the next hitter and gets the strikeout.
He's really working in those breaking pitches now. A few of his fastballs have been hit very hard by the Tuatara, and it appears he, as you say, in the professional years, he's changing his speeds very well, not afraid to go to that breaking pitch a lot, as he does fire a fastball on the outer part of the plate for the second strike.
But that's what young pitchers need to realize, that if you are going to give up the home run, do it with no one on base. So he is being aggressive, and one run doesn't hurt too much early in the ball game.
Clark waits back pretty well on that curveball, able to fend it off again. So the count remains 0-2.
He is still being very efficient with his pitches, so we are still looking for him to go deep in the game, despite giving up a couple runs.
0-2 as a fastball misses low to Zach Clark.
As mentioned, Zach Clark is an aggressive hitter, so being behind 1-2, I think Atherton is going to try to live out the zone and make him chase.
1-2 is the count. And a breaking ball hit hard down to the third baseman, Ellis. He's going to fire it across to the first. And just in time, getting the very quick Zach Ellis. A great play there by, the very quick Zach Clark. Ellis making a fantastic play. And Sutherland with the stretch to record the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Zach Clark, Bambi on ice partner in crime, showing good hustle, but good play by the Bandits infield there to just beat him by half a step.
So Zhu, the DH, aka Ichi, up at the plate now for the Bandits, has been hitting very hot so far, has recorded a hit today as he dribbles that one to the second baseman, Dutton, who flips it across to Sutherland and records the third out of the fourth inning.
It's another run tacked on by the Tuatara there. Max Brown getting his first big hit in a Tuatara uniform, so that'll be a bit of a relief for him, I think, Sam.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly that first hit, big stepping stone to get in any baseball season. Takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders of a lot of these guys. Lets the hitters go up there and just sort of have their natural approach and not press too hard when they're up at the plate.
Yeah, he's one of the key players for this Tuatara squad. One of the first signings General Manager Ryan Flynn did make. Pretty interesting story on how he got discovered, Sam. I think he might have a Kiwi parent, and he was, in fact, put on that under-21 squad that you were part of.
Yeah, that's right. A few of these guys, Lamb Hunt as well, along with starting pitcher Jimmy Boyce, Max Brown, Luke Hansen, Duncan Isaacs. Quite a number of these gentlemen were part of that under-21 World Cup squad who went to Taiwan in 2014 and played a number of games against some very good international sides. Ended up beating some big names such as Mexico in that tournament, and certainly a big stepping stone for the development of New Zealand baseball. And we're seeing some of the fruits of that labour here on display for the Auckland Tuatara.
Yeah, that's been a little bit of a theme for New Zealand baseball, finding American-raised ball players with a Kiwi connection. I think Max is from the Washington State part of America in the Northwest. And yeah, it's been interesting to see these guys come out the woodworks.
At the plate now for the Brisbane Bandits is the second baseman, Wade Dutton, number 3. And he hits that ball hard into right center field. Coming back is Brown, and he's under it. In the end, able to fade back and record the first out of the inning.
Bambi just skating along the ice there, running that ball down in the gap. Good communication with Eric Jenkins in the outfield. They haven't been together too long, but these guys definitely know what they're doing out there.
You wouldn't guess that they've only been together for 2 or 3 weeks, would you, Jun?
No, absolutely not. Great communication, and like you said, the fact that they get along so well with each other probably helps with the communication side of things.
So a fast ball delivered for ball number 1 here to the left fielder, Daniel Nilsson. And Taneichi going there to his breaking ball, behind in the count for a strike. How important is that for a pitcher to be able to do, Jun?
Oh, very important, Sam. You do want to be able to...
And that ball's hit hard into left centre field, and that's going to drop in the gap. And coming around now is the Brisbane hitter, and he'll be in easily to second, and he's going for third base. The relay won't be in time, so that will be a triple recorded for Daniel Nilsson, as that ball was crushed into the left centre gap. And now Brisbane here with a great opportunity to score a runner on third base with 1 out.
Yeah, great piece of hitting by Nilsson there, sitting back on that hanging curveball and driving it to the left centre gap. With these fences so far back, anything to the wall, there will be a chance to get a 3-bagger, especially with a bit of speed.
So the catcher now, number 29, Ryan Bedaglia.
That's a new pronunciation for Ryan today, Sam?
That's right. I'm sure one of them we've said today will be correct, as a curveball misses outside.
Yeah, so it is very important to be able to throw off-speed pitches for strikes, especially once they have seen your fastball first time through. It looks like the breaking ball is what he goes with when he needs to get a get-me-over strike with an off-speed pitch.
And another breaking pitch there, swung on through by Ryan, the catcher. Count evens at 1-1.
Yeah, his split finger is probably the more devastating of his 2 off-speed offerings, but of course the split finger is more of a swing and miss pitch, hard to throw for strikes consistently.
Infield playing in here for the Auckland Tuatara as they'll try to restrict, as another pitch swung on and miss there, low in the zone.
That was that filthy splitter, Sam. When he starts that out at the knees, it's going to be hard for the hitters to identify that.
So infield playing in here for the Tuatara, looking to stop a infield hit, turning into a run. As that pitch misses outside, count moves to 2-2.
Yeah, this isn't a situation you'd always play the infield in early in the game with a 2-run lead, but they are looking to protect the slim lead rather than make sure of the outs here, so we'll see if this pays off for the Tuatara coaching staff.
And that split finger there delivered and swung on and missed. A very important strikeout recorded there by Taneichi, limiting any damage that could have been done by Ryan Battaglia, the catcher for the Brisbane Bandits. 2 outs now with Mitchell Ellis, the third baseman, at the plate, looking to pick his teammate up with a 2-out RBI.
Yeah, huge pitch there by Taneichi. Look, getting that strikeout with that runner on third with 1 out. Going back to his bread and butter split finger.
That ball's hit hard into left field, and a hit recorded to Zach Clark, the left fielder. So that'll be the first run on the board for the day for the Brisbane Bandits, recorded by Mitchell Ellis, gets the RBI.
Like we mentioned the previous inning, Sam, they do seem to be squaring him up a lot better second time through. That's only natural. As you see, get to see the pitcher's arm action a bit more, you are going to be a bit more comfortable in there. So, I mean, that is often the reason starters are going shorter into games these days.
So let's see if Taneichi is able to keep his composure here as we move to the start of the lineup once again for the 3rd time round. Andrew Campbell, number 17, the centre fielder for the Brisbane Bandits, at the plate. Hasn't recorded a hit today, has 1 strikeout so far on the day. Taneichi will be looking to repeat that.
Yeah, let's see how he does holding the runner at first. He hasn't been in this situation too often.
Throws the ball over, keeping the runner in check.
Yeah, he had pretty quick feet on that one, Sam, so I don't think the base runner is going to be able to get too big of a lead, but Mitch Ellis, he does look like he has maybe a bit of speed out there.
1 ball, no strikes. as the split finger there misses low. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Good move here by catcher Kyo Chun Wei, just coming to talk to his pitcher along with pitching coach Kola Ye, giving his pitcher a little bit of time to just reset. What do you think Kola's saying to him?
I don't think they're actually able to communicate in words there, Sam. So you saw him maybe just give him a few actions, tell him to get a bit of a breather. He does look like he has a pretty repeatable delivery, so I don't think it'll be anything mechanical. Just getting him a breath to settle back down after falling behind here 2-0.
So the 2-0 pitch. A breaking ball for a strike. Really impressive, the control that he's able to have with that get me over breaking ball. Able to get right back in the count.
And great experience shown by Wei, the catcher there, just to pause the game, slow it down a bit, and get Tanaichi to find the strike zone again.
Another breaking ball just misses the outside part of the plate. That call could have gone either way there. So 3-1 the count now in the hitter Andrew Campbell's favor. He'll be looking for a ball he can drive to a big part of the field here to score the run from first base.
Yeah, good eye shown by Campbell there. I think that bent just a little around the zone.
There's a fastball, and it is hit to the middle of the infield, flipped by the second baseman over to Hirasawa. So Luke Hansen there making that play. And Auckland Tuatara able to get out of too much trouble in the top of the first, but the Bandits do record their first run, of the day with that. Started off with that hard hit ball into left center field. Followed up by another line shot to left field, able to record their first run.
Yeah, we'll see if the Tuatara bullpen is going to get up and loose here. That is 5 innings of very good baseball pitched by Tanaichi, but that is his first outing in the ABL season. So we'll see if they want to run him back out there again, but third time through the lineup, I think they might be quite happy with that performance with the arms they've still got left to go today, Sam.
So what, knowing a little bit about this Bandits lineup now, what kind of options do the Tuatara have available to come in to throw the remaining innings of this ball game?
Of course, with this lefty-heavy lineup that the Bandits possess, you would think that they might be going up with Cone, Scott Cone, a New Zealand WC representative who pitches from the left side. Or, I guess, a former major leaguer, Josh Colmenter. He's got to be up on the depth chart, you'd think, Sam.
Yeah, you certainly would think so. And because of the rain out yesterday, as you said earlier, Jun, plenty of arms fresh. And without another game till next Friday, the Tuatara don't really have to leave anything in the tank for another game, because they've got a lot of time for those arms to recover. So they'll be throwing the kitchen sink here if they need to against the Brisbane Bandits.
Yeah, I wonder if it might be a bit unconventional, but I wonder if Ryota Okamoto will still be available for the second game. Despite pitching 2 innings in the previous game, he doesn't work himself too hard. He's not exactly saving his arm for his future career. He's getting up there a little bit in age, so it'll be interesting if they do want to run him back out there, because he was very effective with a looping curveball that he was throwing.
Yeah, especially against all of these left-handed hitters in the Bandits lineup. Certainly wouldn't be conventional to see a pitcher who's already thrown in a game rest for a few hours, but Ryota Okamoto is not your conventional pitcher, and certainly he does have a rubber arm, and you get the feeling that man could just throw for days and days and days.
I don't think he would turn down the opportunity if they asked him to get back out there. So
certainly not.
He is very much a team player and willing to do whatever it takes. So I think he would be ready to go, but with a good lefty and Scott Cone there, I think he probably will be the first port of call if they do decide to pull Tanaichi.
Kyo Chun Wei, the catcher for the Tuatara, at bat now. Swings at that high fastball, and that's a pop-up. The catcher, Baraglia.
Battaglia.
Pardon me, folks. We'll get there in the end. Catches that ball just over home plate, recording the first out of the inning.
Yeah, solid fundamentals there. Made that look easy. Back to the infield with the ball curving back in towards them. Good job there by the Brisbane Bandits catcher.
Tiger Hirasawa, the shortstop now, at the plate.
Yeah, Atherton's been very efficient, so we'd probably be looking for him to go maybe a bit deeper in the game than Taneichi.
As Hirasawa swings through that high fastball. Count moves to no balls and 1 strike.
Hirasawa with that typical load up and leg kick that you often see from Japanese hitters.
Especially coming from the left side of the plate, as Hirasawa takes that changeup low in the zone. Look to see Hirasawa sneaking a few infield hits through as he makes his way from home to first in very quick time.
Yeah, with that leg kick, it can be a bit hard to get your timing in, so we'll see how he adjusts as he gets on here.
Swinging at a fastball here, the count moves to no balls and 2 strikes as Atherton continues to be aggressive against the shortstop for the Tuatara.
He has just been pounding him with fastballs in both at bats, so we'll see if he maybe chooses to mix it up onto. He has got a waste pitch available, so.
And Hirasawa waiting back on that curveball. It'll float into center field for Andrew Campbell. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th inning.
A good piece of 2-strike hitting there, sitting back on that curveball, but Atherton just throwing strikes, getting the rewards.
Yeah, after giving up 2 runs, Atherton has really settled back into his rhythm. And as you say, he's been very efficient, so don't expect him to come out of the game. Possibly he might throw another one after this. Up at the plate now for the Tuatara, Luke Hansen, the second baseman.
Yeah, he had a big triple to right center to score the first run of the game. So he'll be looking to do the same. That is his power alley, is to right center.
One ball and no strikes now. Hansen looking pretty comfortable at the plate for a guy who has only had very few ABL at-bats. He has a good take on that fastball that was just up out of the zone, laying off the high cheese there.
Yeah, cheeky grin by Hansen there. It was a close pitch, but did well to check his swing on that.
He does go for the high fastball there. It's chopped to third baseman Ellis, whose strong arm gets Luke Hansen just in time. 3 outs now in the 5th inning, so we'll move on to the 6th. The score, 2-1 in the favor of Auckland Tuatara.
Yeah, we'll see if they do make a pitching change here, Sam. We can't see the bullpen from our vantage point, so we're a bit in the blind, but
as soon as we know, you folks at home, we'll let you know.
I'm going to make a prediction and say they do make a change here.
Who you put your money on they're going to go to? I'm going to say
Cole Menter.
Cole Menter.
As we cheat by seeing him out the corner of the graphic there.
So the MLB veteran, Cole Menter now, trying to get a few innings of work out of him and shut down this Bandits side through the 6th inning.
Everyone should go watch the video that Cole Menter is featured in with Domingo Ayala. Quite an entertaining clip, making fun of his unorthodox pitching mechanics. He was one of the softest tossing throwers in the MLB, but very effective. A funny story, Luke Hansen, the machine, he was telling me that Cole Menter said he is from a very small town in Homer, Missouri, I believe, Sam, and he never knew he threw with funky mechanics until he left. And that is how his mechanics stuck.
Yeah,
a good story. I'm not sure if that's true.
That is indeed a good story, and his mechanics might be somewhat reminiscent of what we in New Zealand might be a little bit more familiar with the cricket action. Cole Menter himself were commenting on his very over-the-top action, relating it somewhat to how a lot of cricket fielders throw like in the outfield. So,
yeah, definitely a very over-the-top action, but that does help his changeup move dive straight down, and he is very good at hitting spots. He has struggled a little bit in the early part of the season. He did pitch pretty well in Perth, maybe let down a little bit by his defense with those nerves in the first game of the series, but he'll be looking to fight back and pitch that clean inning here for the Tuatara to seal game number 3 up for the Auckland side.
So certainly an absolute treat here for all the fans and indeed the Tuatara side to have this ex-MLB player on the bump for them. There's no one they'd rather have in this tight situation. He'll bring an absolutely cool head. You won't see the nerves get the better of Colmenter here as he faces TJ Bennett, the shortstop for the Brisbane Bandits. That ball is hit hard into right centre field. Going back is Jenkins and Brown. That'll get over their heads as it gets over the head of Jenkins. Rounding second is Bennett, but he'll be kept there by the good arm.
Yeah, good job there by Jenkins to hold the runner at 2. Colmenter being aggressive and giving up that hit in the gap, but he'll be looking to keep pounding the zone here.
He possibly got more of the plate than he would have wanted. That fastball just a little bit elevated, catching too much of the heart of the plate, and TJ Bennett capitalizing, able to punish that pitch into the right center field gap.
Yeah, he'll be looking to come back maybe with his experience. I think he will be comfortable throwing off-speed pitches to start the next hitter.
So it is the hot David Sutherland, first baseman for the Brisbane Bandits, who hit very well in the first game and has recorded a double already in today's this second game.
Yeah, that double he hit in this game would have been out at any ballpark. So we'll see if he can continue with his hot stick. He is the heart and soul of this Bandits lineup, I believe.
1 ball and no strikes now as Colmenter looks to battle back against Sutherland. That ball is fired down to the first baseman. Covering is Colmenter. That'll move the base runner over. So a good job there by Sutherland to hit the ball to the right side of the field, able to advance the base runner now, who's on third base with only 1 out. Plenty of ways to score him and tie the ball game now for Donald Lutz.
Yeah, the experience really coming through for Sutherland there. In a close 1-run ball game, moving that runner from second to third with none out is so important. Colmenter doing a good job on the PFP, but you'd say that's a win for the Bandits hitter there.
Yeah, certainly, and I think Colmenter just missing his spot a little bit again, leaving that ball a bit elevated, a little bit more over the plate than he would have wanted. As Lutz fouls that ball off, and you're just seeing Colmenter missing a little bit high again there.
Yeah, with his lack of velocity, he really does need to live around the edges of the zone, which is how he managed to pitch so well in multiple seasons in the majors.
No balls and 1 strike now to Lutz as Colmenter fires a fastball on the outer lower part of the plate for strike number 2.
See, I believe his out pitch is his changeup, and he painted that outside corner with a fastball there. It looks like they are going to go with the changeup for the 0-2 pitch.
Lutz faces the changeup and is able to hold back.
As you can see, that is pretty nasty, Sam. Great downwards action on that. And you can see why he was able to survive in the big leagues while only throwing in the upper 80s.
Yeah, that changeup coming from the exact same spot as his fastball. No difference in spin, so certainly very hard to pick up on for the batters. It'll be his bread and butter for success here in this game as that pitch is fouled behind by Lutz.
Yeah, he seemed to find the zone a bit more now with facing his third hitter. That was a nice pitch on the outside corner. He can pretty much go to anything he wants here. He hasn't gone to his breaking ball yet, but we'll see if he just sticks with his fast ball changeup combination.
And I think to the lefty here, you're more likely to see him stick to that changeup. As you say, John, as Lutz drills a ball to the second baseman, Hansen. He's deep enough that the run from third base is able to score. So Brisbane Bandits tie up the game now.
There was
2-2.
slight hesitation from Hansen there. It was hit slightly harder than he probably thought. He did look to go home, but I think he made the wise decision, making sure of the out at 1. Generally, a ground ball up the middle is going to score that guy at third with the infield playing back.
So it's Delacal now, the DH for the Brisbane Bandits, up to bat against the big Colmenter, who misses low with that changeup.
He has settled down here. He'll be looking to throw strikes with the bases empty.
Swung on and missed is that pitch. The count moves to 1-1. We'll try to update that graphic for you.
Sometimes that just happens though, Sam. You string a couple hits together, you are going to give up that run as a pitcher, but with his experience, he's going to be able to shake that off and get back into his work.
He certainly worked ahead quickly against Delacal here. Quickly ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
With his experience as a starter, the Tuatara coaching staff will probably be looking for multiple innings out of Colmenter today, especially if he can settle down and get this out here.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Delacal. Colmenter comes set and misses with a fastball up out of the zone. So full count now, 3-2.
Yeah, big pitch here. Bandits are looking to start a little 2-out rally. Colmenter's still getting into his work. We'll see what offering he goes with here, Sam.
Certainly able to throw a change-up for a strike here as that ball is hit hard to the shortstop, Hirasawa, whose good arm hops and fires across to Chris Richards. And there are 3 outs now. So we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Bandits able to tie it up. We got a ball game here, folks. 2-2 going to the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, good job by the heart of the Bandits lineup there. Manufacturing that run, make sure to score that leadoff double. Colmenter, though, showing his faith in that changeup, going back to it in a 3-2 count. So got the hitter out in front and got a ground ball. So good work by him to settle back in after giving up that double.
Yeah, just showing his class there and the confidence in that secondary pitch. So we'll see Atherton continue for the Bandits here.
I think he's got a couple more innings left in him, Sam. Tim Atherton, he's been very efficient, and he also looks like a guy who isn't a max effort guy and just works his way in the bottom half of the zone. Lets his defense help him out. He has got a few strikeouts too, but he just looks like he could throw all day.
Yeah, certainly uses the bottom half very effectively to generate that velocity rather than forcing the ball too much with his arm. So if any of you folks out there are new to baseball or are fans and are looking to get into the game, there are plenty of baseball clubs around the country in New Zealand that you're able to get in contact with. The season has just gotten underway in the local league, so there's still time to join up and play this season. Plenty around Auckland, as well as in Wellington, other parts of the North Island, South Island. Pretty much everywhere around New Zealand now has a little bit of baseball going on, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, clubs are just popping up all around the country, and they're just doing a great job. We've got clubs in Nelson, Christchurch, Wellington, Hutt Valley, Hawke's Bay. Oh, too many to rattle off. But it's not just a sport that's big in Auckland now, Sam. It is growing around in other parts of the country.
Yes, certainly in the past you might argue that it was just an Auckland sport, but it is certainly not the case now. So up to bat is the leadoff hitter for Auckland, Eric Jenkins, the centre fielder.
Yeah, 3rd time through the lineup here, Sam. It is often a danger zone for starting pitchers, so we will see how the Tuatara hitters have adjusted to him after having seen him for a couple at-bats.
That changeup drops out of the zone. Jenkins able to take it for the first ball of the at-bat.
Yeah, he hasn't shown his changeup too much through the game. He's been mostly sticking with that curveball as a secondary pitch.
As a fastball is swung on and missed there by Jenkins.
But 3rd time through the lineup, especially against the lefties, you do expect to see that change up a little bit more.
Yeah, certainly looking to mix it up here will be Tim Atherton. And he seems to have quite good control of all of his pitches so far as Jenkins swings through a high fastball.
It'll be interesting to see if what his spin rate would be on that fastball, Sam. He doesn't look like he has elite velocity, but he is getting swings and misses up in the zone throughout this game.
Yeah, it appears from the batter's perspective, it isn't just velocity as Jenkins swings through that inside fastball for the first out recorded for the Bandits side.
Yeah, he does seem to have good life on that fastball, a heavy ball, as some might say, which is often attributed to a good spin rate on that fastball.
Yeah, the forces on the ball, meaning that with a high spin rate, the ball doesn't drop as much as with a lower spin rate for the pitcher. Some batters even saying that it looks to rise.
But we know physics, Sam, and that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Not physically possible, but as Lamb Hunt swings through that fastball, certainly the fact that it's not dropping as much as you'd expect is deceiving for the hitter, and that's why possibly one of the reasons Atherton's having such success with that fastball up in the zone against these Tuatara hitters.
Yeah, and it really helps put his curveball in play with that high fastball being established.
He's gone back to this fastball quite a lot in the bottom of the 6th inning here. Usually would be looking to see pitchers rely more on their secondary pitches later in the game as they go through the lineup again. But he's showing good confidence and still able to spot up this fastball as he fires the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. Well taken by Lamb Hunt down and out of the zone there. The count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, that's a great pitcher's pitch. Tough pitch to lay off by Lamb Hunt, but he has been shown he is locked in at the plate.
Lamb Hunt with a big shot over the left field fence in the first game today. With the wind blowing out a little bit, he will be looking to do a similar thing here.
He was also able to drive in that run from 3rd with 2 out in his previous at-bat, so he'll be looking to do the same and stay hot and set the table for the Tuatara here.
Yeah, good take there by Lamb Hunt on the curveball that missed down and out. Swinging at the fastball on the outer part of the plate. Good pitch again, but Lamb Hunt able to foul it off with a good swing.
Yeah, he was right on that, Sam, fouling it straight back. That often means that the hitter's timing was right on the pitch. He just swung just a bit below the ball, but we'll see what Atherton comes back here with. He has been going to that fastball mostly in this inning.
Ooh, and that pitch, Lamb Hunt thinks it was outside. It looked a little bit out from here, but one of those marginal pitches that possibly you might have to swing at as a hitter. So the 2nd strikeout of the inning recorded for Atherton as he continues to be quite efficient and deal against these Tuatara hitters.
As you mentioned earlier, Sam, when you got a guy like Atherton just up there throwing strikes, the umpire's often going to give you the benefit of the doubt when you live around the zone.
Bambi Max Brown, the right fielder, up to hit now. Hit an absolute shot earlier in the day as he swings through that high fastball again.
Yeah, again, getting swings and misses on that high fastball, showing good life in the later part of this ball game. Bambi looking to repeat his heroics of the previous at-bat.
Able to lay off this time on the high fastball. Count moves to 1-1.
Yeah, Max Brown, despite his wheels, he does make good use of those levers at the plate too. Has shown pretty good power throughout his career.
He's certainly a tall gentleman, and when he's able to extend those hands through the zone, that ball can go a long way as the breaking pitch fools him there. He's out in front, and Atherton gets ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He is a very tall guy, Sam. There aren't too many people you have to look upwards at. And I'm thinking he's a good 6'6".
Yeah, 6'6" at least, 6'7". And I have to say, it is nice to look up to someone every now and again. As that ball is hit hard into left field, under it is Nilsson, camping easily for the 3rd out of the inning. So, unable to score any runs there is the Tuatara as we move on to the 7th inning. You can see in the background there the Auckland Tuatara mascot trying to get the crowd hyped up again, get them behind their defense as they look to keep the Bandits scoreless through the 7th inning.
Pretty good at-bat there by Max. Hit that ball hard. That's all you can do sometimes. But these big fences, big outfield, goes both ways. Helps you out sometimes, takes it away sometimes.
The wind also in the last half an hour or so has changed direction a little bit. It's now blowing primarily out to right field, whereas it was previously blowing out to left field. So possibly that had a bit of influence as well. But certainly pretty good at-bat there by Bambi. All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, it's nice to be here to be able to report that Radio Sport's doing all the winning. We're doing all the winning on Sports Day, and look, we're doing all the winning on Art Day as well. It's an art attack. Christmas cracker style joke there.
This is the most blatant form of tagging I've ever seen in my life, and I'm really, really pleased that Radio Sport are behind it. Nothing like a bit of art, bringing a bit of culture to the wonderful world of sport. Radio Sport, more than just rugby balls, son.
Commenter continuing his work here for the Tuatara in the top of the 7th inning as predicted. Up to bat now for the Brisbane Bandits will be Wade Dutton, the second baseman. So far this game, Wade hasn't recorded a hit and was struck out once by Taneichi, hitting 143 through the season so far.
I think the coaching staff for the Tuatara are expecting Commenter to try work his way through this bottom part of the lineup and then maybe looking at bringing in a lefty to face the top of the lineup once that rolls back around for the Bandits.
Yeah, that'll certainly make a lot of sense, and we saw the success that lefties were able to have with Ryota Okamoto coming in to finish the last game against the primarily left-handed lineup for the Bandits. So possibly see a repeat of that this game as an off-speed pitch misses low here for Commenter.
Also, if some of the viewers are curious why Commenter isn't starting, there is a rule in the ABL where two local pitchers do need to start games of the series. So, of course, we had Jimmy, who got the win in the first game, and Kyle, who pitched the second game. And they look like they made a good choice going with Taneichi for this game here, Sam.
That ball is fouled off, so the count is now 2-2. Yeah, certainly Taneichi did some good work, keeping the Bandits only to 2 runs through 5 innings. That's all you can expect of your starting pitcher. The young 19-year-old showing his class up there as Commenter delivers that. Hit softly back to the pitcher, who'll flip it across to Chris Richards, and there's 1 out now in the 7th inning.
Yeah, he's really settled into his work now, and Commenter was always known as one of the better defensive pitchers in the major leagues, and he made that look very easy. Had all the time in the world.
Daniel Nasson now, the left fielder, up for the Brisbane Bandits. Hit a triple earlier in the day as that fastball comes across for a strike.
Yeah, really starting to find the zone now here.
That ball in the dirt there for the first ball. So 1-1 is the count now.
That's not a good way to treat the home plate umpire after he gives you a 50-50 call on the outer edge. The catcher profusely apologizing there and giving the umpire a bit of time to recover. The catcher, it's also always very important to build a good rapport with the umpire, isn't it, Sam?
Yes, indeed. And that all has to do with introducing yourself at the start of the game. As that ball is hit hard into center field, Eric Jenkins is camping underneath it. We'll record the second out of the inning for Commenter. So Yeah, very important to have a good relationship as a catcher with the umpire, so those 50-50 calls go your way. He can certainly go a little bit against you if you get on his nerves. So that's all to do with introducing yourself, not framing the ball too much, making obvious balls try to look like strikes, as that ball is swung through there by Battaglia.
Yeah, it definitely can be a long day behind the dish if you and the umpire are jawing at each other and battling all game. So it is nice when the umpire wears one for the catcher just to go up to the pitcher and give him a bit of time to catch his breath.
Just outside, and the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. And that pitch nicely on the inner part of the plate. Yeah. So some good control shown here by Colmenter now, working both sides of the plate. Not able to overpower hitters so much with his fastball, but as we've said earlier, as he fires a breaking ball, which must have just missed. And Colmenter not happy about that one. The count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The old donut zone appearing there, Sam.
Yeah, the donut zone, of course, with the hole in the middle.
But that's the first curveball I think he's thrown all game. It looked like a pretty good pitch, but, I mean, obviously you're not going to get every call your way.
So 3-2 the count now. Colmenter delivers, and hit hard is a fastball into left field. Zach Clark there to collect it, and he'll keep Nasson at first base. Pardon me, Battaglia.
Not only is this outfield very rangy, they all have shown a good arm so far and managed to limit the damage on the potential extra base hits. Colmenter, probably right to feel a little aggrieved with the at-bat. He probably thought he had strike 3 with that curveball there, but he will have to use all his experience and settle back down into his work.
Mitchell Ellis at the plate now. Holds back on the changeup, which misses down and away.
Yeah, great movement on that changeup. As we've mentioned, that thing really does drop right off the table. He will have to establish his fastball for strikes, though, to make that effective.
And a fastball missing outside there. Count moving to 2 balls and no strikes. Any chance of Battaglia looking to take a base here, Jun?
No, I don't think so, Sam.
The catcher.
Colmenter has a pretty quick move to the plate. You never know, but it is often on the pitcher you do steal bases as well as the catcher's arm.
Certainly catchers not generally known for their wheels, especially when they've been catching many innings. Battaglia out there won't have the freshest legs, so with another base runner possibly looking to take a base into scoring position, but shouldn't be too much of an issue here for Colmenter as that changeup drops in the lower part of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Colmenter, we haven't seen his pick off 2 first yet, but he does have quick feet and a good move over there.
As you say, one of the better defensive pitchers in his time in the big leagues, as Ellis tries to hold up his swing there, but fouls it off. Count remains 2-2.
Having said that, though, with the 9-hole hitter up with 2 out, I don't think Ellis is a power hitter, so you might be wanting to sneak that guy 2 second to be able to score on a single.
That ball is hit hard into right field. That'll drop down the right field line. Going after it is Bambi, and rounding third base now. That throw will relay home. It will be in time. And the runner is called out at the plate. Great arm there by the right fielder, Max Brown, and relayed by Luke Hansen right on the money, and a run is saved by the Tuatara defense. Battaglia there not quite having the wheels to make it around to home plate. So the score remains 2-2, and the fierce battle that we've seen so far between these two sides continues.
Oh, great job by the Tuatara defense, helping out Colmenter get out of that pickle. That is one of the most underrated, exciting plays in baseball, I think, Sam. Seeing that double and a guy trying to score from first and a play at the plate. But Max Brown and Hansen cut him down with steps to spare.
So after that exciting play, we will join you again shortly after these messages.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby titles. Mary Adams took Cleveland all the way to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, his dog Buck Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's your turn. TAB, now you're in the game.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. Atherton will continue his time on the mound, being very efficient through 6 innings so far. Up to bat first for the Auckland Tuatara will be Chris Richards, the first baseman.
Great arm shown by Brown there to get the ball quickly into Hansen on the cutoff to cut down Battaglia at the plate. I wonder if the Bandits coaching staff did have thoughts of maybe putting in a pinch runner at this stage of the game in a tie ball game. They do have De La Cal available to catch, who caught the first game in at DH, so they did have options, but it's hard. It's always easy to second guess yourself in hindsight.
Certainly a great feeling as an outfielder. You're thinking in your head, yeah, next time they'll respect my arm on that one. As Chris Richards swings through that pitch, hit to the second baseman Dutton, and the first out recorded of the inning.
Atherton just doing what he's been doing all game. Throwing strikes, low in the zone. Actually, he's working all parts of the zone. On the edges though, Sam, and gets the first pitch ground ball is pretty much what he wished for going into the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, certainly showing his class here. As you say, working all parts of the plate. We've seen him move the ball up in the zone, down in the zone, throw secondary pitches for strikes, doing everything he has to do to restrict this Auckland side to what is a very good hitting side from Auckland to only 2 runs so far. That ball has drilled foul by Mr. Sunshine, Zach Clark, the left fielder.
Yeah, no surprises to see Clark being aggressive and swinging at that first strike he's been throwing. He has been swinging hard all game, all day.
And he swings hard at that curveball there into shallow right field. Coming over is Dutton and able to catch that ball for the second out.
Yeah, he just missed that one. Put a pretty good swing on it, but good to see that he is hustling still, despite making the out. A good lesson for all the younger viewers watching. He took a hard round of first base there, and he would have been able to get to second if that ball did happen to drop. And good to see them playing the game the right way, even at this level.
So up to bat now, number 52 for Auckland Tuatara is Zhu, the DH, a.k.a. Itchy.
He grounded out to the right side of the infield last at bat. He has been showing a good opposite field approach all day though, so we'll see if he can go back to that and hit one out to left center.
He's had a fantastic start in his ABL season so far for the Tuatara. Could we see Zhu moving up the lineup, do you think, Jun, in the games to come?
It's definitely a possibility to go with the hot hand, but the Tuatara coaching staff do look to be pretty settled with that top 5 hitters of their lineup. I think it has remained unchanged throughout both the Perth and this Brisbane Bandits series.
1-1 is the count as Itchy swings through that changeup. Very good pitch there by Atherton, who continues to show good command of all of his pitches. Getting ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Zoo here, he has shown good patience, so we'll see if he is able to lay off on anything outside of the zone.
That ball is hit softly back to the pitcher, who flips it to first baseman Sutherland. And the Auckland Tuatara are dealt with in short order in the bottom of the 7th inning. So we move to the 8th as these two teams keep the struggle going on. 2-2 going into the 8th.
Yeah, Atherton is just showing his class. He is absolutely rolling through this lineup 3rd time through, which is a very difficult thing to do. I'll be pretty surprised if he will get pulled. I think he might have even another one in him, Sam.
Yeah, I think you might be right. He certainly hasn't showed any signs of fatiguing. If anything, it appears as if he's sort of settled in and is throwing more of his secondary pitches for strikes, and he's possibly even spotting up his fastball better than he did earlier on in the game.
Yeah, it's not often you see a starting pitcher still getting swings and actually more swings and misses on his fastball as the game's been going on. So he doesn't look like he's laboring out there. Far from it, in fact.
Possibly just warming up in this Auckland weather is the Bandits player.
Yeah, the Bandits definitely won't be used to this nippy weather at this time of year in November. I wonder if, I think the Tuatara probably will have a bit of activity in their bullpen. Colementor did get out that inning pretty smoothly, but at this stage of the game, they probably have guys up and ready to go. Scott Cone, as we mentioned, probably going to play a important part in this game with the left-handed heavy lineup from the Bandits.
So Colementor will continue through his 3rd inning of work. He'll be facing the top of the lineup for the Brisbane Bandits with Andrew Campbell leading off here. So he's got his work cut out for him. He'll need to keep hitting those spots, keep changing speeds if he's going to have success against this very good hitting, reigning champion Brisbane Bandits side.
Yeah, Colementor will definitely be looking at keeping these first 2 hitters off the base paths before David Sutherland comes up, who has been swinging a hot bat all day.
So a change-up taken there for the first strike. And comes around on another changeup. And Colementor able to keep him off balance. So the first out of the inning recorded.
Still looks like the Tuatara fielding the same defensive lineup out there, Sam. The Tuatara coaching staff keeping things consistent for the players.
Yeah, keeping going with what has been working, and it's certainly been working very well for this Tuatara squad. They have looked absolutely solid through both games today in the field.
Yeah, against the tough Bandits squad who are reigning champions, like you mentioned.
So a fastball taken there for the first strike of the at-bat. Yeah, good change of speeds there as Colementor goes to the changeup, and he's looking a wee bit more comfortable than he did in his first inning of work, able to spot up his pitches a wee bit better here.
Definitely, Sam. He is looking like he is in a bit of a groove now and looks a bit more comfortable out there.
And he spots up that fastball on the outside part of the plate. That was the perfectly located pitch. TJ Bennett struck out looking.
Yeah, that's that lefty strike on the outside corner, that pitcher's pitch. It has been shown that lefties do get a bit more called on them on the outside part of the plate than the right-handers. And I'm not too sure why that is. Maybe possibly to do with where the umpire's positioned, but it has been shown to be a fact in the major leagues.
Swinging through that changeup is Sutherland, and Colementor really just grooving now. Out to an early lead with 2 strikes on Sutherland.
Yeah, Sutherland, he's driven the ball to the fence on 2 occasions today, so he'll be looking to do more of the same in this tight game. Start a little 2-out rally here for the Bandits.
Yeah, not a bad miss there by commenter, just possibly changing the eye level of Sutherland there with that high fastball.
Yeah, he might have been trying to look for that outside corner against them.
That ball is hit hard to the second baseman, Hansen, who defends it well, flips it to Richards. 3 outs in quick succession for the Tuatara. As we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, we are tied here at McLeod Park in Auckland. Jun, we've got a ball game.
Oh, absolutely, Sam. What a game. And Luke Hansen living up to his nickname of the machine. Still well-oiled and running smoothly, as you can see on defense there.
Just to convey about there, being fed the ball, flipping it right over to Chris Richards. Very cool-headed is the young Hansen. So up to bat now for the Tuatara is the bottom of the lineup, starting with Kyo Chun Wei. Then you'll see Hirasawa and Hansen following him. What are the keys here for this Auckland side if they look to convert a run?
Lead off base runners, Sam. That is the key to scoring runs. I believe a leadoff runner is going to score at least about 50% of the time. So that is what Atherton will be looking to prevent, as he has been doing for the last few innings. Although we might have a little pitching change with a lefty on the bump now.
So we do indeed have a pitching change here. We'll just update you with who that is. We believe it is Ryan Bollinger for the Brisbane Bandits, number 25. Although he is indeed wearing a different jersey to what is recorded here for us. But we do think it is Ryan Bollinger. We'll update you on that if that is incorrect.
We do believe it is Bollinger, the lefty. He is a hard-throwing left-handed pitcher. And great outing by Tim Atherton, working through 7 innings of 2-run baseball. You can't ask for much more as a starting pitcher. He isn't in line for the win, but that was a quality start by the Bandits, experienced Bandits pitcher.
And certainly, as we know, a few stats in baseball not quite indicative of the quality of work that went on. Wins, one of them, is quite reliant on your offense. So looking at his stat line, Atherton only gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts and no walks through 7 innings of work, being very efficient. So he'll be happy with that. So will the Bandits. But we see now Ryan Bollinger will face Wei, the catcher.
As we've seen all day, Sam, the pitchers have not been giving up free passes, which has made for a quick, exciting game of baseball to watch.
Yeah, it seems like all of a sudden we're in the bottom of the 8th inning and the game just started. As Wei, on time with that one, chops it foul over the first base dugout.
He does seem to be bringing the heat here, Sam. That's good life on that fastball from the left side.
And it looks like a bit of a slider there delivered for a ball just up in the zone. A little bit hanging there. He'll look to try and bury that a bit better.
I wonder if he is of any relation to the cricketer Doug Bollinger, Sam, the Australian fast bowler.
And number 10, Nilsson, the third baseman, makes a good play on that ground ball. And that will bring up Hirasawa, the lefty. This will be a good matchup for Bollinger with that slider he has. Should be quite effective against the left-handed Hirasawa.
Hirasawa, despite getting out on a fly ball to center field in his last at bat, it was probably the most settled he's looked in the box. He drove that ball over the center fielder's head.
And takes a fastball up in the zone for the first strike.
He's got a good live arm here, doesn't he, Sam?
Yeah, if we had a radar gun, I think he might be sort of lighting this up a wee bit. That ball had a bit of heat on it up in the zone. And Hirasawa probably not able to catch up to it if he did swing. So the count now is 1-1 as he takes a low breaking pitch.
And he works very quickly, Sam. We almost don't have time to catch a breath in between pitches. And next time, I will sneak a radar gun out from the field house so we can give readings out to all our listeners.
So that fastball gets by Hirasawa there, moving the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hirasawa, good eye there, taking that fastball low and out of the zone. So the count is full against the tall lefty Bollinger.
Hirasawa will be looking to get on and get the hot-hitting Hansen up, who hit that triple.
And he pops that ball just above the catcher to home plate. And the second out recorded. Hirasawa just hanging around home plate there. Possibly not ideally what we'd like to see from base runners there. That ball could be in play. You want to be hustling down that line as quickly as you can, just in case the catcher does drop the ball and it goes fair.
Yeah, of course, it's pop-up's pretty disappointing way to get yourself out, but you do still want to be making sure you are hustling enough to get to first base if something crazy happens.
So Hansen up to bat now. He's shown a bit of power so far as he drills that ball into left field, continues his hot streak as he records his second hit for the game.
He might also, in fact, be a hitting machine with the way he's been swinging the bat, Sam. He is on fire. For someone who was on the outer edges of even making the squad leading into the preseason, he seems to have worked his way into a starting position in the lineup most games.
Especially after this game, expect to see Hansen definitely in the lineup next weekend against Canberra. So he brings up Jenkins. So this was another good matchup for Bollinger, the lefty, as he fires that ball perfectly down in the bottom outside part of the zone. Hard pitch to hit there. So that's a pitcher's pitch. Jenkins probably not able to do too much with that if he did swing. So the count now, no balls and 1 strike.
Hansen is a pretty good base runner. He has decent wheels out there. He did get picked off in the series against the Bandits from a lefty, so he might be a little bit wary, but this is a tough matchup for Jenkins, who is known as a contact hitter, so he might be looking to get on second in scoring position.
He fouls off, staying alive on that slider there. Good job to make contact, at least with that one, is the experienced Jenkins.
Yeah, Bollinger being a larger framed man compared to Blackley, I don't expect him to have quite the pick-off move Blackley did when he picked off Zach Clark in game 1. We haven't seen his move yet, so Hansen's just keeping an eye out.
As he takes that hanging slider there, up and in. Count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bollinger still well in control of this at-bat, able to throw any of his pitches in this spot.
Yeah, this is a really tough matchup for Jenkins here with this hard-throwing lefty.
Ooh, and gets caught out on that fastball, just getting the outer part of the plate. So Bollinger dices through the Tuatara lineup and records the 3rd out. Good hard hit there by Hansen, keeps it hot, but he wasn't able to be converted by Jenkins. So we'll move now to the top of the 9th inning, and it's tied.
Yeah, not only is Bollinger showing good velocity, he is really hitting those spots as well, which is just going to make it a long day for the Tuatara hitters. It looks like Colemente, he's trotting back out there.
Well, certainly with a tied ball game, it's possible that we go a fair bit longer than just the regulation 9 innings. And so if Colemente was looking like he was just getting into his rhythm, so now facing sort of the heart of the lineup, he should be good to keep going in this inning and save some of the other arms if needed for the extra innings.
Yeah, and as his experience as a starting pitcher, working multiple innings out of the bullpen should not be an issue for him. And like you said, he seems to have settled down into his work after giving up that run in his first frame. But I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty happy if we got some free baseball here, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the quality of play that we've seen so far, the defense, the pitchers throwing so many strikes. This ninth inning has seemed to have just leapt up on us. So certainly us and all the fans at home are very excited to see some free baseball here. As possibly the Brisbane Bandits look to get ahead in the ninth inning and the Tuatara look to shut it down in the bottom of the ninth. Commenter will take the mound, facing now the big right fielder, Donald Lutz.
Yeah, the big power hitting lefty looking to set the table here for the Bandits. Like we mentioned before, lead off base runners are what you want to avoid as a pitcher. So Commenter will be looking to rack up a quick out here.
Yeah, certainly Commenter's changeup is going to be a big factor against the lefty here with a bit of run away. Bit of run that will go away from Lutz. Don't expect to see him throw any breaking balls into the lefty here as he does throw that changeup, which just nips the bottom part of the zone. Very hard pitch there to hit for Lutz, and Commenter just showing his class on that perfectly placed pitch.
Yeah, Lutz shaking his head there, saying that pitch hasn't been a strike all day, but he'll have to concentrate and battle up here with 2 strikes on him.
Lutz calling time. Pretty good move. Just as Commenter working pretty fast in his rhythm there. So just trying to break up Commenter's rhythm as we try to adjust this camera angle for you there. As he swings through that changeup, and Commenter able to get Lutz to swing through that pitch, and looked like he was all over him that at bat.
Yeah, when you fall behind 0-2, you're really at the mercy to the pitcher if he makes a good pitch, and that changeup diving out and away in the zone was near unhittable in that situation.
Especially at the mercy of a former MLB player. As he fires that breaking ball for a strike there, so pitching a little bit backwards here to De La Cal.
Yeah, changing it up a little bit here with that curveball. He's only thrown it 2 or 3 times in his outing.
Fastball misses up, count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, just trying to work out of that same high slot there and see if he could get a chase on that fastball up in the zone, but the hitter did not bite.
De La Cal, so far one of the better hitters for the Brisbane Bandits as he hits a high fly ball into left center field. Jenkins is going back and just gets that ball. He seemed to be jogging a little bit out in left center field, and possibly the wind took it a bit further than he expected. But he does come up with the catch and rolling just at the end there.
He was coasting a little bit to that, Sam. I think he thought that wasn't going to quite carry as far as he thought it was, but that wind does seem to have picked up a little bit and took it a few feet further than he thought, but he made a good recovery and tumbled around and made the grab.
So the Tuatara bench breathes a sigh of relief as a fastball is swung on through by Wade Dutton.
Big hack there by Dutton. He was looking to do damage on that, but just swung through it.
And just seeing another breaking ball here by Commenter. He's gone to that pitch a couple times this inning, something we haven't seen in his 3 innings of work so far. And it's been effective to these righties, going ahead 0-2. Throwing a high fastball there, almost got Dutton having a sniff at that high cheese, having a whiff of the rat poison there, but it wasn't to be so.
Yeah, there's a good pitch there by Commenter. He won't be disappointed with that.
Trying to pitch around the righty here a wee bit, moving to 2 balls and 2 strikes. I wouldn't be surprised to see Commenter throw a changeup here. He's got good confidence in that pitch. And there it is. Swung on and missed by Dutton. Records the 3rd out in the top of the 9th inning.
And that's why he was a major leaguer, Sam. That's just quality pitching, coming back after giving up that run early on in his outing and just dicing now.
So Tuatara management very correct to stick with Commenter through these last 4 innings. So we'll move now to the bottom of the 9th inning as the Auckland Tuatara look to walk off with the top of their lineup. So leading off will be Daniel Lamb Hunt, the man who hit a big shot in the first game today. If he can do that again, that'll be the ball game.
Oh, absolutely, Sam. That's what I think that's going to be the only thing on Lamb Hunt's mind is to put one out of the park here. Of course, Ayrton Laird, we expect, will be ready to pinch hit again, just like he did in his Game 1 heroics, especially if it's one of Lamb Hunt or Richard's Renaissance Man gets on. The slower, older legs will probably get run for by the speedy Laird.
So it appears we have a pitching change here for the Brisbane Bandits as we go to Lek Van Mil.
Oh, this is the giant, Sam. He would make Max Brown look dwarfish. He is the tallest professional pitcher going around, I believe.
How tall is he, John?
7'1", I think, Sam.
7'1". That is gigantic.
And I don't think it's a baseball reference. I'm going to add 3 inches to my height, 7 feet. I think he's a legit 7-footer.
Yeah, 7'1", and then put those cleats on, put him on top of a foot-high mound, just a bit less than that, and the ball, the angle at which that ball's coming to these hitters is pretty steep.
Yeah, and he's definitely got the velocity to go with that downward tilt on his fastball. Up in the upper 90s. They have seen him a little bit in the preseason game, which should help them out a little, but I mean, I don't think you're ever going to get used to hitting off someone throwing from that high of a slot.
So we'll see if Lamb Hunt can do anything with these offerings from the heaven that Van Mil will deliver. Van Mil opting not to go with the dirty mo, but instead a well-groomed full facial beard. As he delivers a slider there for strike number 1.
Yeah, we'll see what he goes with here, Sam. He does have a breaking ball slider, as you just mentioned, and that heavy downward fastball. Looks like they're probably going to go with a breaking ball again, facing the dangerous Lamb Hunt.
Lamb Hunt able to hang back as the count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, very important to get that lead runner on, as I keep saying, Sam. And at this stage of the game, with the option of pinch running, it is even more crucial.
Yeah, certainly as Lamb Hunt fouls back over the stands down the right field line.
That is a sizzling heater, though. Lammy just a little bit behind on that cut, as you can only imagine, but that is some serious heat.
Do expect if we see a runner on to see the wheels in motion, especially against the big righty. A little bit harder to get the 7'1" body moving in the direction of the base runner. A little bit slower to home than a shorter man, and so a good opportunity to take a free base if the Tuatara are able to get a runner on.
Yeah, definitely the longer limbs. It does take a bit longer to get through that motion and deliver the ball, so we will be looking for that if they do get a base runner.
There's a slider there that is hit high into center field. Coming in now is Campbell, and he's camping under it. First out recorded of the bottom of the 9th inning by number 17.
Yeah, good pitching by Van Mil there, the Dutchman. And living in the part of the zone with that high arm slot, with that high angle, downwards angle, it's always going to be tough to hit.
So we've got Bambi on ice. Max Brown up to bat now for the Auckland Tuatara, the right fielder.
I will be curious. I know he has hit that ball yard, Sam, but with that third baseman playing very deep right now, and the tall, laboring, lanky Van Mil on the mound, that could be an option just to maybe drop a little drag bunt down the third baseline.
Yeah, no, I think you might be right. It appears the third baseman is possibly playing a little bit shallower than he may have set up just before.
Yeah, he does look like he's creeping in a little. Maybe I said that a little loud.
So they have seen bunt out of Brown in the warm-up games as he fouls off a pitch. Van Mil ahead early, 0-2. And now the third baseman does move back, so the threat of a bunt's not potentially on with 2 strikes. So they'll just go back to regular depth. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, of course, those new to baseball, if you bunt the third strike for a foul, it is an automatic strikeout. So, of course, you're much less likely to attempt to drop down the bunt with 2 strikes on you.
So Van Mil well in control of this at-bat so far. The count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. He can throw just about anything right now. He can try to look to get that fastball by Brown. He can look to get him off balance with that slider. So we'll see what offering he delivers here. He does go with the slider, but Bambi able to hold back on that one. So the count moves to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, just starting a little bit too far off the plate to draw the swing and miss from Max Brown there, who did show a good eye. But he is a pretty free swinger as well, so we'll see what Van Mil goes with.
And Brown swings through that fastball, and when you do have the heat coming from that angle, it's a pretty good pitch to go with. So the second out recorded via a strikeout for Van Mil here, bringing up Chris Richards, the Renaissance man himself, playing first base for the Tuatara.
Yeah, it's always a luxury to be able to just go back into the well and bail yourself out of trouble with that heater, Sam, if you've got it. So Van Mil sticking to his bread and butter pitch, that high heater, high fastball.
And that ball's hit hard into left field. Under it is Nilsson, and straight to the left fielder. That ball was crushed. He left the slider hanging a little bit, and Richards almost punished. That was about 5 meters from the left field fence, but those deep fences mean that that ball didn't quite sneak over. And so we've played 9 innings of baseball. Game's tied. We'll keep going.
Free baseball, Sam, and I am not complaining with the quality of the game we've seen displayed at McLeod Park today.
Oh, it's been absolutely beautiful so far, and the weather only gets better as the game rolls on. The sun shouldn't be an issue for these players, as it's just sort of over the bleachers in right field, so the hitters, pitchers, and outfielders should get a clear look on the ball. In some fields around the country at this time of day, it could be an issue, but not at McLeod Park. It looks like we have gone with a pitching change here for the Auckland Tuatara, and we'll get that to you in just a second. Okie dokie, folks. We're just going to have a quick ad break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Serious. Oh, she's not happy. It's a long road back.
Powerade Ion 4 replaces 4 electrolytes lost in sweat to drive today's athletes forward.
Adams inside. Pascoe coming back strong. What a comeback. What a champion.
Howdy folks, and welcome to free baseball here at McLeod Park. It is the top of the 10th inning. 2-all ball game. Absolutely beautiful baseball being played here in Auckland for the final game of this 3-game series. It will start with a runner on first base as per ABL extra inning rules. On the mound we do have a pitching change for the Tuatara. It is indeed the new Japanese import Tomohito Sakai. Pardon me, runners on both first and second here.
Sakai is one of the other Japanese imports who came along with Taneichi just this weekend, so we expect them to be of the same caliber.
So we'll have a look here at what Sakai holds in his arsenal, and he is ahead quickly, 0-2. Strikeouts so important in these extra innings, as starting with runners on first and second mean that it's quite easy to move runners over and manufacture runs here.
Yeah, it was always a toss of the coin whether to just go for the sack bunt in these sudden death rules, Sam, to move that scoring run, to move that run to third. Of course, when you're hitting at the top of the inning, it is a bit more of a difficult decision, as you might want to play for more than just that one run, and a huge punch out there by Sakai.
He gets Daniel Nissen looking on that fastball, freezes him up on the inside low part of the plate, and that was just absolutely crucial for the Tuatara. And I think we can expect some good things from Sakai.
Yeah, that's absolutely clutch, coming in a pressure situation with runners on first and second. A strikeout is absolutely huge there. Of course, as a hitter, you want to at least try and move those runners over to second and third, but Sakai with that punch out puts Brisbane in the hole a bit.
Pardon that brief interruption there, folks. So Sakai ahead now, no balls and one strike. And another low fastball. He's living in that lower part of the zone as he delivers a beautiful pitch to get ahead 0-2 once again on the Australian hitter.
Yeah, not the tallest man in stature, Sam, but he has a good life on that fastball with that drop and drive motion that many of these Japanese pitchers feature.
So he can go to just about any pitch once again here. Getting ahead early just shows you how important that is against these Brisbane Bandits, especially in these extra innings. Checking the runner. Delivers a breaking pitch that gets away from the catcher. Runners are able to advance. That is big for the Bandits here. Some good base running.
That negates the effect of that strikeout a little bit, Sam, getting that runner to third base. It looks like that he is featuring a split finger that his countryman was also featuring, and that just got away from him a little bit. Catcher did a pretty good job, just got a little bit unlucky with the ricochet. And good read by the base runner to read that ball in the dirt and hustle his way onto third base.
So Sakai will really be searching for a strikeout here, as the hitter, who we believe to be Jay Myers, really looking to try to manufacture a run right now.
Yeah, you really need to get at least one run in this sudden death situation here.
And he hits that ball hard into right center field. It'll drop in front of Jenkins, and the run will score. So runners will go to first and second. One run will score for the Brisbane Bandits as they take the lead in the top of the 10th inning.
Of course, with runners starting on first and second in sudden death, I think at least one run is probably about a wash, Sam. So the Tuatara, if they can keep the second run off the board, they won't be too disappointed, but obviously after getting that strikeout for the first out, it is a bit of a blow to let that one run in.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to not be results orientated in these situations, and quite possible that even if that split finger didn't get away from the catch away, that the runner from second base would have scored anyway on that single to center field. Breaking ball misses low there for Sakai. One ball, no strikes to number 10, Mitchell Ellis.
Yeah, at least there wasn't a runner on second there from the Tuatara perspective. So at least it was just the one run, and we'll see if they can, Sakai can maintain his composure and limit the damage.
Yeah, Sakai just looking to keep low in the zone, get a ground ball, get a double play, get out of this inning.
Yeah, good two-seam fastball starting at the hip of the left-hander and finding the inside part of the plate. What a pressure situation to be thrown into, Sam, just off the plane.
Off the plane, first game for a new team. And it seems so far that Sakai is pretty composed. The count is indeed 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll try to update the graphic for you as Ellis swings through that fastball. So Sakai ahead once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pretty impressive so far.
Yes, Sam, even that split finger that just got a little bit away wasn't a bad pitch, 0-2. Just got a little unlucky, got a bit away from the catcher, and the Bandits hitters doing a good job in the clutch, driving that run in.
So a breaking pitch here, swung on and missed by Mitchell Ellis. So Sakai recording a strikeout there, big out. So 2 outs now, runners on first and second, as Sakai looking to get out of this inning with just the single run scored. And as you say, with these extra inning rules, runners starting on first and second, that single run, the Tuatara won't be too displeased with that as long as they can keep them there.
Exactly, Sam. The Tuatara will have options, but we will see what happens here before we get into that. A nasty slider, though, by Sakai to get the strikeout.
That fastball just missing up. At the plate is Andrew Campbell, number 17, the center fielder. So we're at the top of the lineup once again for the Brisbane Bandits.
Campbell, one of the experienced hitters in the Bandits lineup, looking to come through in the clutch.
And that fastball just paints the bottom part of the zone, and he's taking out a mortgage. He's living on that lower part of the plate there.
He looks really good, Sam, and he looks like he does have a good slider to go along with that splitter. And often you do have a bit more control with the slider. Might not be quite as filthy, but in this situation, it could be a good pitch to get ahead to 1-2 in the count.
Let's see if you predict correct here, Jun. So 1-1 is the current count. Sakai comes set, runners at first and second base. As that ball does get fouled off, and he did indeed go with the slider. So he's ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Yeah, it wasn't the best executed pitch, but he did get Campbell to fight that one off and get ahead in the count. Strikeout will be huge here, Sam. Take the pressure off the defense. Looking for that fastball up.
And Campbell does a good job of laying off that fastball up in the zone. Just changing the eye level there was Sakai. So 2-2 is the count. He set himself up to throw a good split finger if he so desires. Otherwise, you might see him go back to a fastball painted on the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, we'll get to understand what his out pitch is here, Sam. This is a big moment, and often pitchers revert to what they're comfortable with.
And Campbell just gets around on that ball to be able to foul it towards the Tuatara dugout.
That was a good split finger again there, Sam, and just left it a little bit up, which allowed Campbell to get a slight piece of it.
Yeah, it just shows you the importance of getting your breaking pitches down in the zone as a pitcher, especially after showing them the high cheese and adjusting their eye level up on that heater he threw the pitch before. 2-2 is the count. Fastball hit hard into right field. Max Brown will get it quickly. He relays the throw to the second baseman, and Brisbane will score the second run of the inning. So they extend their lead 4 runs to 2 now.
That was just an excellent at-bat by Campbell, showing his experience, fighting off the tough pitches, laying off the tough pitches, and then driving that ball hard into the outfield. And now the Bandits definitely have the advantage, having scored 2 runs in sudden death. But Tuatara will need to limit the damage here, because 2 runs to get back in the bottom half of the inning isn't out of this world possibility with 2 runners starting on base then.
No, indeed. String a couple of hits together and they will be right back in this game if they're able to limit the damage now. So up to the plate is TJ Bennett, the shortstop, as Sakai will look to get this out and restrict the hot-hitting David Sutherland from coming to the plate. A good slider there by Sakai gets Bennett swinging through, and the count moves to 1 strike.
Yeah, this is crucial here, Sam. 1 more run, and you probably think the Bandits will have it sewn up. So Sakai really needs to knuckle down.
Bit more of a looping, possibly a curveball there as the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it looks like he has a 4th pitch there. That's the first curveball he's thrown. But yeah, he will really need to get those nerves under control and try to get out of this inning, limiting the damage to 2 runs.
Look to see a fastball on the outside part of the plate here, as he just misses up with that pitch, and he's fallen behind 2 balls and 1 strike. A really good opportunity here for Bennett now, as Sakai needs to come back with a strike. Can't afford to load the bases here. So, especially with the hitting Sutherland behind him. So, good opportunity for Bennett to convert another run on a batter's pitch right now. And he does swing the bat hard, but it fouls down the left field line.
Yeah, he put a good swing on that. Fastball down in the zone. Sakai will be happy that went foul. He can pretty much come back with any pitch he likes here. We'll see what he goes with. He has been favoring that split finger as his out pitch, so we'll see if he goes back to that.
Does seem to have a little bit more control of that slider so far, but against the lefty possibly will favor the split, as you say. And he does go with the split finger, and a sick pitch that was. Call the doctor. That was a strikeout there recorded for Sakai as he strikes out 2 in the top of the 10th inning. Brisbane do convert 2 runs there, though, in extra innings.
Yeah, definitely not a bad outing by Sakai, but the Bandits were able to capitalize after falling behind in the count, which just shows the experience of a championship caliber team. But 2 runs behind with the sudden death rules. Definitely not a stretch to come back from the situation, but I'll definitely say the Bandits are ahead at this stage.
Absolutely. So runners will begin on first and second base once again. Continuing will be number 40. Pardon me, this is a new pitcher for Brisbane. It will be Sam Holland, number 40, up on the bump, throwing to Zach Clark, who will lead off the bottom of the 10th inning for the Auckland Tuatara.
Yeah, he's got that sidearm action, Sam, and definitely probably going to look for that sinker-slider combination to get a ground ball, try to get a double play to start the inning. I think the bunt is probably out of the question right now. I mean, it is still an option to move 2 guys into scoring position, but I don't think you want to be giving up 3 outs with a 2-run deficit.
No, absolutely not. Possibly part of this modern era of baseball, we're seeing less and less bunts as the numbers reveal. They possibly aren't as effective as the traditional thinking may make them seem to be, especially with the deficit of 2 runs here in the bottom of the 10th. Zach Clark, of course, a powerful hitter, free swinger, definitely able to do some damage with 1 swing of the bat here against the big righty Holland.
Yeah, and with the speedy Clark up to bat, he's probably unlikely to get doubled up. So I think bunt is out of the question here.
So it'll be the previous 2 outs on base for the Auckland Tuatara. That'll be Max Brown, who does have some wheels, followed by Chris Richards, who is possibly not as quick as his teammate on second base.
One option we haven't discussed with Bambi on ice out at second is the double steal, which I think would be a better choice than a sack bunt. But I think they're just going to let Zach Clark hit and see what damage he can do here, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. As the sunshine suns down on Sunshine himself. And he is indeed squaring up to bunt. And they pick off to second base. Brown able to make it back in time.
Yeah, part of that is to make sure the defense is ready now. They have seen that he's squaring around to bunt, so the defense will be on top of that now.
So the Tuatara looking to advance both of these runners as that ball is popped up and the catcher will catch it, and that is a bit of a disaster here for the Tuatara, as it's a free out with nothing happening for the base runners, and now we're one down.
As you said, Sam, you don't want to be too critical in looking back in hindsight, but I'm not sure a bunt in that situation is the right option, especially just like what we saw happen. It isn't a guarantee to get the guys to second and third, and even with a 2-run lead, even getting the guys to second and third with one out, it isn't. I don't think it's exactly what you're going for. But I mean, it's easy to criticize in hindsight.
So up to bat next for the Tuatara will be the left-handed hitting Zhu, aka Itchy, and indeed the Brisbane Bandits will bring up a lefty, number 7, Ken Frosch, who we saw throw in the previous game.
Yeah, he did a good job when he came into the game, the first game of the doubleheader. He got 2 lefties out, which is pretty much what he's on the roster for, so he'll look to do the same again here. Itchy, it looks like Andrew Mark might be on deck there, Sam, to face the left-handed pitcher.
So a strategic pinch hitter here, as the local hero, Andrew Mark, possibly going to face the lefty. Big pressure situation to come into the ball game here.
I think that will be a good move with the lefty up to bat, especially with the runners not getting moved over. Andrew, Mark, Pinky, more likely to get the extra base hit and get that run in to score all the way from first, as compared to Itchy, who has been swinging a hot bat, but he is more of a singles hitter. So I think that is what they're looking to do here, Sam.
Yeah, certainly the key for Andrew, Pinky, Mark will be to keep his cool, not try to do too much with the pitch here, and look to hit the ball where it's pitched into one of the bigger parts of the plate and try to score both those runners from second and first base and tie this ball game up.
Yeah, Andrew Mark is coming up to bat, the big fella, and another change. Ayrton Laird is pinch running at first, obviously to try score on a ball in the gap.
Ayrton Laird, of course, the pinch runner from Friday's game, who came in, advanced to third base on a ball that got away from the catcher and scored the winning run after that ball was overthrown. So we've seen his wheels, a good move here in a do-or-die situation for the Auckland Tuatara. And Frosch just having a look back at Brown on second base, keeping him honest.
Yeah, the base runners will be on their toes, looking to read that ball in the dirt. If they can get to second and third here, that will be huge for the Tuatara.
Yeah, of course, at second and third, it means that Laird will be able to score on a single. That pitch just getting the lower outer part of the zone on Andrew Mark there. A good take by Mark, not a pitch he would have been able to do much with.
Yes, and that's just a good pitcher's pitch.
You got to tip your cap there to Frosch. 0-1 is the count to Mark. And that pitch just a little more outside than the previous one, says home plate umpire. So the count moves to 1-1. Another good take there by Mark.
Yeah, good eyes by Mark there. It is tough to lay off after he got that previous one on the edge called against him. So back to an even count. Let's see if he can do some damage.
1-1. And that ball just getting away from the catcher, but Brown not quite able to get a read on it.
Yeah, that's tough to see when it's not a ball in the dirt, and that ball did get hidden behind the hitter there, so not too much Brown could have done about that.
And certainly the ball hopping towards third base as opposed to the first base line means that it is an easier throw for the catcher, so good base running there.
Yeah, it's not panic stations yet for the Tuatara. Just one more hit and they're back rolling.
So 2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Andrew Mark here as Frosch comes set. Let's see what offering he can deliver to the big righty. And Mark hits that ball deep into center field. Under it, though, is Campbell. With the sun in his eyes, Brown will tag up and advance, go to third base. That ball sounded hard hit off the bat, but it wasn't to be. And so 2 outs now in the bottom of the 10th inning.
Yeah, good piece there by Andrew Mark there, but with this deep fence, that was never going to have a chance to get out. Campbell, very settled under that ball under pressure. And a little first and third situation here, Sam, with good speed at first with Laird. He might be looking to get into scoring position, so a single can tie up the game.
Yeah, so that moving over for Brown, tagging on that ball, more important than you might think, especially with the speedy Ayrton Laird at first base. It means that he's able to freely steal first base, whereas Brown may not have had the wheels to put the double steal on to move them both over. So it means possibly if Laird does decide to steal, that a single will be able to score the 2 runs needed to keep this game alive.
Definitely, Sam. As we mentioned earlier, Max Brown, not only does he have the wheels, he is an intelligent base runner. And he did a good job to make sure he tagged up on that ball and get to third. And looks like we've got another pitching change, as expected, with the right-handed Way coming up to bat. We have a right-hander coming up.
Yeah, we've got Matt Timms up here for the Brisbane Bandits. Matt Timms has been effective so far in 2.1 innings of baseball, throwing, a couple good innings with a .86 whip. So he'll try to shut down this Tuatara offense and get the last out. The Bandits are really doing a good job of managing their bullpen here late in the game.
Definitely, Sam. They have been playing the matchups very effectively, making the managers look like geniuses. Laird, it is pretty nerve-wracking to risk stealing second when you just come in as a pinch runner, especially as a young man, but he is a very confident baseball player, so I think he might have the green light to trust his instincts and try steal second if he thinks it's there. But the catcher, Battaglia, has shown a very strong arm.
So it will be Kyo Chun Wei, the catcher, up for the Auckland Tuatara. This is a do-or-die situation now for the Auckland team. They're down 4-2 in the bottom of the 10th inning. As he takes that pitch, and Ayrton Laird will advance.
He got a great jump on that pitch, Sam. Very ballsy move to take off first pitch, and good pitch to steal on as well. It was actually ended up being a breaking ball in the dirt that nearly got away from Battaglia, but Brown, good read. He would have been out at home, so he held up, but runners in scoring position now, Sam.
Okay, so the opportunity is there for the Tuatara. Can they convert? Way at the plate, hasn't had the greatest day at the plate. 1 ball on him. He'll be looking to make good contact here as that fastball catches the inner part of the plate, moving the count to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, even count here. He has seen both the breaking ball and the fastball, so he should be ready. But good life shown on the fastball here.
And another ball in the dirt there, so Tim's struggling a little bit with his breaking pitch here to throw it for a strike, or at least make it look more like a strike and just drop out of the zone. So 2-1 is the count with 2 down here in the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, with first base open and the light-hitting Hirasawa on deck, he won't be afraid to maybe pitch around him just a little bit.
And we do see another pitch get away from him there. As you say, possibly trying to pitch around him, but it does appear that possibly those last couple pitches have gotten away from him a little bit.
Definitely, Sam. That was like a 50-footer there. Battaglia did a great job to get a piece of that with his glove. No chance of blocking it with his body, but he kept that in front somehow. I'm not quite sure how he did it.
You see the energy man himself, first baseman, just hyping up the dugout and the crowd, getting everyone in this park behind the catcher Way as he hits that ball deep into left center field. The sun is in their eyes, but Campbell will record the last out of the game. The Brisbane Bandits take this one from the Auckland Tuatara in extra innings, 4-2. Jun, what a ball game.
Oh, an absolute cracker of a game, Sam. You can't ask much more than an extra innings game. The Bandits They showed their experience, battled back in Game 2 of the doubleheader. They'll be stoked to at least get one win before stepping on the plane. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty depressing trip back over the Tasman.
So the two teams split the series. 2 wins go to the Tuatara, 1 goes to the Brisbane Bandits. We'll join you next week against Canberra at 3 p.m. Same place, 3 p.m. Come on down to the park. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, it's nice to be here to be able to report that